Hello and welcome back to the ARK of E podcast. My name is Noah, and I am joined this evening by a few members of the ARK of E crew, soon to be joined by more. For the time being, we have my cousin, Mr. Patrick J. Blanchard,
Hello.
my good friend, Mr. Brendan Riley,
Hello there.
and making it, they're on the dinghy. They're on their way out to the main vessel. Mr. Evan Tuig should be joining us, and I believe my brother, Mr. Gavin Blanchard, as well. Might have a surprise guest or two in there. Who knows? Everybody gets invites. The whole crew gets invites every week. They're always welcome to join. But I think that's who we got showing up. We're here belatedly, as usual, to discuss the recent box office phenomenons of Backrooms and Obsession. But while we wait for other members of the crew to join so we can decide what order we're approaching that in, have you guys been watching anything other than the movies we're here to discuss this evening? Television, film, or otherwise?
I watched the animated Stranger Things, the Tales from 1985 series.
How did that go?
It is a completely wonderful diversion for something that, if it's not Stranger Things,
Okay.
because it takes the fact that it's set in between season 2 and season 3, and the fact that it's animated goes crazy. Like, it's good and fun in and of itself, but it is a huge story
Okay.
that doesn't fit in line with the feeling.
Doesn't work with the canon.
No.
Gotcha.
Like, it is just okay. That's a big story. That's a fun big story. Like, if you name this group of kids in 1985 who are discovering crazy sci-fi stuff, way more watchable.
Uh-huh.
But it was fun animation. It was nice. I like the characterization of Max because it was more in line with the Max that I liked later than the Max that existed earlier. Like, because my thing with Sadie Sink is someone long about the time of the whale told her how to act. Before that, she was a big facial mugging kid. Like, every expression I have, I'm showing to you, and it's not good unless I'm moving. And then somebody told her, "Hey, a lot of acting is just being still and in the moment."
Mm-hmm.
And I became a huge fan of her after whoever did that, because it was like, oh, this girl understands it now. This is a good thing. So they put a lot of that characterization in her animated character, which I enjoyed.
Word. I'll bring it up because I don't think anybody else will be, because I don't think anybody else saw it or plans to. I had a pretty good time with Scary Movie. As I texted our cousins group chat, more fun, more rewarding, better time than Scream 7. Uh, Not that that's an incredibly high bar to clear, but the fact remains. And I think because I was, I'm not, I don't really have any like lingering like Scream 7, but don't plan on rewatch. I mean, I might throw it on in October, give it one more gander and hate on it a little more. But whatever, spoilers for Scary Movie. They smartly, in my mind, they get back to what worked about the first one, which was just do Scream, like stick very close to the plot. So in going with like, okay, we're rebooting the franchise, we're doing the legacy sequel thing, they are heavily riffing on Scream 5 and 6 as kind of the superstructure for the movie, which I was
Agreed.
not expecting. There are a lot of people who absolutely like hated it and think that it's just kind of gag after gag strung together, but like the narrative beats and the mirroring of those, like I said, 5 and 6, and then also the original Scary Movie, like the meta textual self-referencing. I get that it's not for everybody. It is definitely like a snake eating its own tail at this point. But look, I got my laughs out of it. I had a good time. I'm not mad at it. Not everything works. It is the shotgun approach, But for me, 60-40 hit rate. Like maybe I could bump that up to 65. I had a decent time with it. I think it's better than the later scary movie sequels. And on a pure like nostalgia basis, and just in general, it was nice seeing Anna Faris and Regina Hall back together again. And really the whole crew, but specifically the two of them. I hadn't seen Anna Faris in a minute. And obviously, like Regina Hall's having kind of a moment post one battle and a few other things she's got in the pipeline. But yeah, that was that was what
I,
I enjoyed about it. Not something I recommend everybody rush out to the theater, though it did quite well. Almost broke 60 mil its opening weekend. So
I've never seen an entire scary movie.
I did, and your mileage may vary. I don't know how much. To me, what I've always enjoyed is like they do. While there's a lot of like obviously very surface level stuff, it's like there's clearly a reverence for the genre. They clearly actually watch all of this stuff.
Yeah,
And it's never attempted to be like scary and funny. It's always just, joke first
yeah.
immediately. It's never tried to be a horror comedy. It's always been a parody movie about the horror genre. And to that extent, my only thing is I was like, guys, there's been a lot of horror movies and a lot of new trends since you guys did one of these. But I'm like, maybe smartly they're saving it, but they don't really hit, your Ari Aster movies, your elevated horror, like they don't, which is ripe for all of this shit. But maybe that's the second like a sequel of the reboot, whatever. But yeah, I had a good time with it.
Okay.
I'm not sitting here sticking up for it. I'm sure there's people that are gonna watch it and be like, that was one of the worst movies of the year. I got my chuckles. I enjoyed it. Sue me. But yeah, there was a lot of garbage in it too. I'm not gonna lie. There was plenty of jokes that just like lead balloon. Totally. But
Just as long as it doesn't lead to not another not movie again
Not Another
series.
Teen Movie is a one of the best parody films ever made.
That is true, but all the other ones that
Yes.
followed in the wake.
I think it was kind of I mean, it's pretty right on the heels of Scary Movie, but I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
kind of where the parody genre like peaked and died right there. That was the last like classic one in my opinion. That movie's amazing. Okay. Uh Brendan,
Uh, I
you
think I'm
watch
still
anything?
having, I think I'm still having some fallout from the epic failings of Euphoria. I have not started
Haven't been
anything
able to
new.
start a new show.
Nothing worth merit. I did fall on the bandwagon, whether it was from some outside influence or not, of the off-campus fire that is catching within a specific population of people.
That's a new
Uh,
Amazon show, is that correct? Off
it is.
campus?
It is. It is on Prime Video. Um, I do enjoy the fact that at least currently there is no villain, malicious intent. It is very much she's all that in the sense of you've got somebody that's supposed to be kind of nerdy and somebody who's supposed to be the popular person. Hey, let's act like we're a thing. Doesn't really ruin anything because that happens within episode one or two. Hockey is the sport. Hockey player is the jock. Um, but it's
So
good.
it's
It's
the
feel good. It's fun.
so they saw heated rivalry and they were like, okay, cool, make it straight.
Make it
Make it
straight.
straight, make it college.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I didn't see heated rivalry,
Great,
but yes, I
great
know the
movie,
premise.
Amazon. Yeah. I still
Um,
have I regrettably, er,
Regrettably, I think. I,
regretfully.
I believe so.
I have still not caught up with Heated Rivalry, and I think it has been greenlit for season two. But I know that was definitely the phenomenon of. I guess that's this year, right?
Yes.
That's not last year. Yeah. Um, That's the phenomenon of this year that I think has completely passed me by, and I should probably catch up on at least before year-end list, just because everybody was watching it. Literally
Well, I mean,
everybody
I
was
do.
watching it
Off campus just got greenlit already too
for season two.
for
Right.
season two. Yeah,
Um,
I think that that would be the only appeal that I have. If anybody out there is thinking about it, if you need something that's detoxing from like the malicious intent from a lot of shows, like this one doesn't have it. Like that's it's something that's easy to watch, but it's not gonna blow you away.
gotcha. Um, okay, so my thoughts here are because it seems like Gav might be late to the party. There's definitely a way for us to talk about our feelings about Obsession without spoiling Obsession for Brendan. Not that I
But dude, if y'all want
necessarily
to talk
think
about
it's
it,
a
I can log off. I mean, that's
you don't have to log off. You could mute if you just don't want to hear us. But I also think there's a way for Patrick and Evan to give their 2 cents, um, that doesn't, you know, I don't think it's going to ruin your experience with the movie necessarily. But maybe we can be conscious of that, or maybe you can just mute us. It's whatever you want to
here.
do.
I'll mute you. You just text me whenever y'all are done.
Okay. Well, we are going to dive into a bit of our reactions, part of the crew's reaction to Obsession. The three people who have seen it. uh, the now 4 week long, 4, 5 week phenomenon at the box office that just won't quit. I will check its total while we go over to my cousin. Well, excuse me. First, let me welcome to the show, Mr. Evan Tuig. Thank you
Hey,
for joining us. And so yeah, we're gonna wait on Gav for Backrooms. Uh, and if he doesn't make it here within the next little bit, we'll jump into it regardless. But for now, let's chat Obsession. You and I chatted a little bit off mic, so we'll save your thoughts for just a sec, Ev. But Patrick, you got to it a couple days ago. You're the freshest on it. You saw it post hype and backlash and more hype and more backlash and yeah. So what'd you make of it? What'd you make of it?
Um, I really liked it, and I don't like how it looked.
Okay.
Like it has that. I'm old, and all these movies are starting to look the same, and it it looked like it was shot for under $1 million.
Because it was.
I understand that, and but there are movies that like I love Halloween because it was shot for under $1 million, but I love the late '70s to like 1982 film stock.
Yeah.
The modern look I'm just not a fan of. I do like how dark it was at times.
I was gonna say, I think I don't disagree with you that you can see the budget there. I was marveling at what they were able to accomplish on said budget, but
Yeah,
particularly in the lighting. The way he's playing with light and shadow, particularly the way just he lights. Oh my gosh, her name is already out of my head. Indy Navarrete is the actress, but what is the character's name?
Nikki,
Nikki, thank you.
freaky Nikki.
Freaky Nikki. Yeah, so particularly the way that he lights her throughout and the way they play with the light and shadow on her face and the way she's lit or obscured throughout
Yeah,
the movie, I think is pretty impeccable. So again, I think dialing in on like let's make this like really effective. I guess I forgive some of the more quote unquote pedestrian uh other aspects. But yeah.
the other problem I have is a me thing, entirely a me thing, in that if you're in your 20s, you look like a little kid to me. No matter what.
Uh-huh.
And I Indy Navarrete, I loved her on Superman and Lois because she was playing like a 14-year-old going through the whole high school thing to start for season one, and she just looks young to me. I loved her performance, like it was great. But there's a time where I can see people as an adult because like you're obviously an adult, but it's superimposed with the fact that I'm an adultier adult, so you look like a kid, which is a lot of things. I have the problem in a lot of like the Netflix rom-coms with Sophia Carson, anything with Sabrina Carpenter, like everybody just looks really young
Well, I was gonna
until
say,
until they look
particularly
like an
probably
alien.
for you, just being a horror fan at this point, because horror films tend to perpetually be about young people, or
I
at
don't know,
least a
I
certain
watch
subsect
rom-coms
of
too,
them. Yeah,
but they're also about young people
yeah.
or people who are older than me. But yeah, no, I really liked it. I do have I have some backlash problems with one particular scene
We could, I
where
mean, again, we could go full spoilers. I feel
yeah,
like anybody who's listening at this point has already seen it, and again, we'll tell the boys to avoid this part of the pod until
yeah,
they have watched it. But I'm assuming most of our listeners are familiar with the plot of
yeah.
a young man who honestly can't just say how he feels, and makes a terrible decision, and then a lot more terrible decisions after that, and basically traps a young woman who he's obsessed with into being obsessed with him, and things do not end well for any parties involved.
No.
Uh, and that, I will just say broadly, is the thing I love about this movie, is that it does not, it kind of is just like, yeah, it sets the tone very early. I had my hackles up personally. We start very early. Spoiler warning for anybody who has not seen this movie yet, and if this is something that would turn you off, know this going in. There's a dead cat very early in this film, that is very much a tone setter.
I wasn't sure
And
what you were gonna say.
and I, as the father of three small, lovely, wonderful uh, kitties, uh, yeah, anytime you fuck with cats in a horror movie or introduce the possibility of cats being fucked with in a horror movie, I need you to justify it, quote unquote. And the way it is used in this film, I was like, I see exactly. I I see you, sir. I see what you're doing. You are setting the tone. Hey, this is where we're starting. So if you're not like if this is not okay, you bought the wrong ticket. You need to tap out because we're just going like further into the heart of darkness from here forward. So I forgave it as a table setter, but I do like I have been telling people, or at least people close to me, like, hey, uh, just be aware if that's a thing that upsets you.
I, there's another thing about that scene too is I really appreciate a movie that tells me where it's gonna go in not so many words, and then actually delivers on it.
Yes.
And so like we saw the medicine. I just leaned over to Sam in the theater and I was like, "We'll be seeing that bottle again." And so it's like, but I mean, but if you can know that and then still have a great time watching the movie, and then they tie it up at the end and it all makes sense, the
Mm.
continuity's right. I mean, a lot of movies get that so wrong. I don't know through like the editing. I don't know if it's through editing or what happens or if it's just written poorly, but like that one just fully delivered for me because I was like, if you can if you can do that and I know where it's going to go there and still enjoy it, then you're doing a bunch of things right, I feel like.
I think that goes back to the timing, the pace, and the execution thing that he developed through short form on YouTube and TikTok, etc. That like, okay, beginning, middle, end idea. It's like this is such a simple concept. And again, on paper, when you see the trailer or see the setup, you assume, oh, okay, so she's gonna like kill everybody around him, right? Because it's just gonna be like a bloodbath, because, oh my God, the nightmare scenario. And the movie like very quickly lets you know that like no, it very much wrong foots you in a good way where it's like, oh, okay, this is just gonna get like deeply, deeply upsetting, and just kind of a powder keg or a pot boiler where you're just like, okay, eventually this can't sustain itself. And how
The,
crazy will it get before it goes there?
Yeah.
Um,
I love the heightened version of like a bad, real toxic relationship. That whole thing throughout the movie just played so well for me. I mean, I just found myself dying laughing at parts, where they end up not wanting to leave the house, like a bad couple will often end up doing because they can't be around their friends together, and then ruining the party, ruining date night, all those things. And I know those were maybe just little side things that are fun to enjoy about bad relationships or whatever, but all that stuff worked so well for me because it's just that was just so smartly done.
And it added to the reactions of the people around him because it put it in the realm of reality as opposed to the fictionalized what's going on, the crazy supernatural side of it. It's like everybody's like, dude, you're taking advantage of her. What is going on? And you guys are not, this is not healthy because they're seeing that side of it, like the bad couple side. They're not seeing the full on supernatural bad couple side, but just enough that it's like, yeah, like the scene in the scene in the restaurant, the no.
Yeah. No, no.
Like I've been in restaurants and I have seen a lesser version of that from couples across the room.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh no, I get the reaction. But because it's inside of their perspective, it's more heightened. You don't know how heightened it is because he really plays with the idea of you're seeing this movie from the perspective of see I can remember Nikki, but I can't remember
Bear.
Bear. How can I Bear? Because you're seeing it from Bear's perspective. Like it's
Well, and those to me are honest. When on a prior pod, I referenced how I thought there was some scares that I thought were particularly unique. The first thing that really got me in the movie is when Nikki comes through. That is that first time when they're making out or whatever, and she like a part of her snaps through and snaps out of it.
y-
That was probably the biggest jump scare for me in the entire movie. And I was like, what an interesting, and that's the first inkling of, oh, oh, that's what's going on here. And then in the, oh my God, dude, when he
and if the
calls,
IMDb is
That's
to
the
be
dude.
believed, that was day one of shooting,
incredible.
and that was the first take.
Dude, she's going places. I
I
mean,
would say so.
Yeah.
uh, I mean, people are all, and I think there's enough energy around it. People are already like, can't now that the glass ceiling, quote unquote, has been broken by Aunt Gladys at the Oscars. Can we finally start like actually honoring some of these horror performances, and maybe can we retroactively get some Oscars for Mia Goth and Pearl and Toni Collette and Hereditary? Can we make that happen? And Essie Davis and The Babadook while we're at it. We could maybe just like do some honorary. Hey, we fucked up by never paying attention to horror. Um, but yeah, uh, she she just absolutely blew my mind. The
Yeah.
the transitions between both, etc. Sorry, the car scene though, when Bear calls Curry Barker, playing the voice on the other end of that phone,
Yeah.
um, and tries to get the wish back right. The brief moment where you hear this is her. Do you want to talk to her? I'm laughing because that
He's
was
on
one of
set.
the most
Yeah.
bone chilling. I was just like, dude. And then the fact that beyond that's when I think he full like is full villain mode. Basically past that point where you're like, all right, dude, okay, no, this can only end one way. And I love the commitment to the bit of if you're really engaged in the logic of the movie and everything, and I think he's whipped you up into this state that the way that ending plays out, where I was just like, oh, dude, he's not gonna kill himself forever. And then when he takes the pill, and I was like, okay, poetic, circular, the same pain as the cat, all of that. Like, I I loved it. And then I'm sitting there going like, oh, dude, but like it's not instantaneous. So like, how does the rules and the logic of this work? When is the spell released? And he has the moment where it's like she's still in that mode and she's gonna kill herself, and you're like, oh my God, no! Like, please do not. And when she finally like snaps out of it, my entire audience, like the biggest, like sigh of relief, and I was just like, that's when I was like, this is what will have people beyond everything else that happens before the movie. It nails the ending so fucking hard to me that you walk out of that and you're telling everybody just like, dude, you get like seriously, you got to see this shit. And if it had played out
because it didn't
any number of,
originally.
say again,
It didn't originally. The original ending is it ends with her shooting herself,
yes,
which is the weaker choice.
which if that happens, this movie makes $25 million and nobody ever talks about it again. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, can we, I just want to like, I didn't know that that was on the table when they were making it. So that's kind of interesting to me because the more the more horrific thing is that if she does die and he doesn't die because he is the villain, that that but it's harder to stomach that ending, I would say. Is that
Well,
kind
no,
of what you mean?
he still dies, and she
Oh,
kills herself.
oh, okay. That is
Yeah,
weak. That's a much worse ending. I thought you were saying out of the two of them, only she dies because to me it's like that's almost even or that's much worse because like she doesn't deserve it, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
No,
um,
it was a case of like the spell didn't break in time, and she shot herself.
okay. Yeah, that's a worse ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the way.
and
But
The
now that I
producer
think
the
apparently
about
that
producer
was
was like,
filmed
no,
and
no, no.
screened. Or yeah, I don't know if that was a producer thing before they did tests, but yes, the ending as it exists now, it seems like something you would completely reverse engineer because oh my God, what a great like back and forth. But yeah, that sometimes producers make good decisions apparently.
Sometimes they do.
Uh yeah, but the party scene, the uncomfortable just I love cringe comedy. So when you can fuse that into horror and blend the two, I mean that's why I love Ari Aster.
yeah.
That's why he's my guy. And this had so much of that, so much active provocation of pushing your buttons of just like, dude, this is unsettling. I don't feel comfortable watching this. This is not good. And then also on top of that, some like again, commitment to the bit of just like, so what happens when you go off for the day and you tell her to stay home?
Yeah.
I, I was like, okay, well, yeah, logically, I guess that is what would happen to her.
Uh,
And
I,
then
I
the escalation of like, yeah, she's not just gonna piss herself. She's gonna all the fluids are coming out.
like
And okay.
I saw it with a much younger crowd last night,
Oh,
and it
yeah,
uh Wednesday night, week 4, week 5, there were like 35 people in the theater,
it's nuts, dude. The
It's crazy.
retention is insane.
and they it was and I saw this fact yesterday. It is the first movie since E.T. to have growth in its third weekend. E.T. That was 1982.
That's it. See, that's the thing people forget about Titanic too, is like Titanic wasn't like going up. It just kept making the
The same.
same amount
Yeah.
over and over and over again for weeks at a time. That's how it got to 1 billion. Like,
But I heard the young 20 something, like there was like a row of 20 something girls behind me, and they were like, "What did did she just piss herself? Did there? Oh, she is still pissing."
it just the complete what the fuck factor is like, yeah, the word of mouth I think you've seen be so incredible on it because it has that you want to tell everybody every single scene in it, but you
Yeah,
also don't want to ruin it for anybody. And it's like it's not a spoiler movie. It's just one of those where it's just like you just got to see this shit. You just got to see how this plays out. You got to see the dynamic, you got to see the tone. I can't do it justice by describing it to you. You just got to see it. And I think also I don't think like I think everything for me personally that I got out of it was very well communicated on a single viewing. But I do think what seems to be happening is a younger audience is looking at it as more of a like, oh shit, well, if you actually think about it, I need to see this again kind of thing in more of a traditional twist fashion where you want to go back and sixth sense it and like, oh, okay, I'm going to watch it knowing what I know. And I think that's part of it combined
I can see
with
that. Yeah.
a like, you know, oh, there's the person in the friend group who was out of town the week it came out and they missed it, so we're all taking them to go see it again. I think that's kind of what's playing on the repeat viewings, and also just the fact that it is a, I, I don't know, we don't call it necessarily a crowd pleaser in this case, but like it is a great crowd movie. I saw it opening night, packed house, and yeah, just people were hooping and hollering, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's just it draws a lot of reactions out of a crowd. It's not a movie you sit and quietly contemplate, maybe like the other movie that we're gonna discuss. So,
That
yeah,
that last 15 minutes, man, like you said, it like kind of like slowly sucks you in, builds, and the last 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes just deliver so hard. I would say probably from the murder on. I mean, by the time he gives I forget what his friend, the one that's always in the Curry Barker skits, before they did
Cooper
this.
is the yeah, he's is the guy in real life, but yeah.
Dude, when he gives him the wish stick and it's just and he just goes fucking $1 billion,
Dollars.
dude, I howled in the theater, man. I was dying because think about it, like if you were trying to convince your buddy of something, like, that's the kind of shit, like if I gave that to Brendan and I was like trying to convince him, he'd be like, fuck, $1 billion, and I just howled because it rings
Dude,
true.
the bit with the One Wish Willows when he goes back to the store and you think horror movie, oh my God, they were never here. This is just a unique thing that I found myself in, these mystical things. And it's just like, oh, we
They
moved
all
them. They're
work.
right over there.
Oh, dude, I'm just messing with you.
Dude,
Yeah, because it completely subverts their expectations, but then it fully delivers on the bit for the rest of the movie. And then dude, when he knocks on the door afterwards, he goes, "Dude, it's real, it's real," and gets
Like
shot in the head.
it's shot
out of
in.
Dude, I'm
fucking
crying. I'm
nowhere. I
crying at
didn't
that
see the
part.
gun in her hand. I was just like, that was a
Dude, I
moment.
was
That was a
fucking
shock
crying.
moment for me. Like,
Yes.
fuck.
And I was just hoped so badly that that was going to happen. And then the way it did, dude, yeah. But it
Uh,
just kept building and it just kept hitting every beat at the very end of that movie and didn't miss anything. Oh, God.
did you ever watch Milk and Cereal? His,
Well, now I'm going to. I
okay.
didn't, I didn't,
Yeah.
but now I'm going to. And it's funny because now my algorithm keeps showing me a lot of his skits and stuff. I finally saw the Pringle can one the other day, and
I
dude,
think you sent it to me. Yeah.
I was,
Classic bit.
I was like, never seen this guy, never seen any of these things. So it's kind of nice to be able to go back and watch it now because it's very, very funny. So I hopefully he keeps doing the like you were saying. I thought the same thing about Ari Aster. If a horror movie that can somehow make you laugh at the darkest possible things, that's such a difficult thing to do. But he's obviously got that comedy
Yeah.
thing running through all of his stuff, and yeah.
I yeah. I look forward to I'm curious what he will bring tonally to Texas Chainsaw, a movie that I would argue the original is quite funny in its own unique way, and particularly Texas Chainsaw 2. Like it's not a franchise that's immune to comedy. Uh, so I would like to see him still be able to infuse some of what works about his shit into that franchise.
Yeah.
But also notably before that, he has the Ghost movie. The title escapes me at the moment. That's him and Cooper like actually acting in it. Aaron Paul's in it as well. Bryce Dallas Howard, and I believe that is like already wrapped or is soon to wrap. And I think that's like early next year. And then Chainsaw, I would
Anything but
assume like
ghosts.
anything but Ghost. Thank you.
Yep.
And I would assume Texas Chainsaw probably fall of next year, just timeline wise. This was notably shot in like 28 days, something like that. Pretty short
Yeah.
shoot, I think. There's been a lot of, but backlash is a backlash. There's a lot of conversation about the movie and different interpretations of it. I think it's pretty, um, as I read it and as I've kind of read all of his stuff, we probably, Patrick, you can speak to this having seen Milk and Cereal. He does have that little stinker, like provocateur aspect to him.
He does.
I think all the questions and all the controversies, et cetera, surrounding the movie, um, are very much like the conversations that he and like whether it was intended or not, I think he knew the buttons he was pushing. Is I Now, do I necessarily think that he has the greatest perspective on it? I don't know. S- uh, um,
What do you mean
separate
specifically?
from all of
Because
that.
I guess I missed this. I
There's
guess
just
I'm
there's a lot of conversation. There is a lot of like, is Bear the villain, or is he just a guy who made a bad choice, and then people having the conversation around consent, where it's like, but bottom line from the get-go, like this, the second he engages in sexual intercourse with whatever this entity or being, whatever this version of Nikki, whatever we want to call it, that is inherently not her, that is this trapped like, version of her,
Because
that
at that point, he's already at least
he's
80% suspicious.
yeah, he's aware to a certain extent. There's been a lot of debate around like,
Yeah.
and then there is a lot of, which happens anytime anything gets into a gendered conversation. Immediately you have a bunch of dudes like rushing to the defense of this fictional character, going like, well, I mean, he didn't know it was all going to play out like that and blah blah blah, and then it becomes this back and forth over like all that. So he and I think he in interviews or whatever has basically been like, I didn't write Bear intentionally as a villain. And I'm like, yes, that's like, that is exactly how the screenplay needs to function and make sense. And it's like, but I think the point still gets across that like, this is not a good dude. It's like, I don't
yeah,
think the movie is asking you to root for him
the
or really empathize with him. When he's at that, like,
the
I'm
most
gonna kill myself moment, I'm like, dude, yeah, you need to end this,
the
dude.
most
You
insightful,
like,
well, I think the most insightful thing about the character is that his like, and it carries throughout the entire movie. He never really rectifies it, and you could even argue maybe in the end, I don't know if he does or doesn't. I guess he suppose he kind of does in the end, but he's a coward from scene one to the very end of the movie, and then you can have the discussion on, okay, was that a heroic act? Did he like redeem himself in the end? That's why that works
yeah.
so well. Like I said, the
Exactly.
ending, it ties every loose end up.
The whole thing is predicated again, like you said, on him being a coward. She gives him point blank a moment to just like, how do you feel
Man
about
up.
me? Like literally right before the moment where he decides, where he chickens out basically, and then
Yeah.
boom, we're into wish stick mode, and then the movie is the movie. But right before that, we have a beat where she very plainly says, "Dude, just tell me how you feel," basically, and he can't do it. Um, so, anyways, subsequent of all of, so that was the first round of controversy, Evan. The second round of controversy now, because it's been again successful for so many weeks, is what people were paid. And it basically is like,
Oh, I saw that actually. I
yeah,
did see that.
it's basically, I think, fundamentally an issue. Like, it's not a conversation that we shouldn't be having in terms of like back end payment for like indie pickups and stuff. But bottom line, this is what happens on an indie production. Like, the movie was sold to a studio for distribution. It, like, yeah, it would be great, and obviously, if I ran a studio, I would be like, yes, you share in the success of the thing that you made. So everybody's getting bonuses and payouts on the back end from all levels of production from the top to the bottom. The actors, the key grips, like fucking everybody is gonna
Yeah,
enjoy this. And that's basically where a lot of like, I think a makeup artist came out
I
and
saw that
talked
one. Yeah.
about it, and like, oh,
Yeah.
now people are talking about what Indy
The
Navarrete was
production
paid.
designer came out.
Production
And her,
designer, thank you.
so I thought about that because when I read that initially, I was like, that's true. And I do think that, the right thing to do is if you're, if your profit is like 3,000 plus percent of whatever you sunk into the movie. I think they paid 750,000 for it. I do think there still is an argument for whoever was the person who backed him and said, "Hey, I'm willing to put $750,000 on the line because I believe in you." I do think they ultimately should reap, the greatest reward because they sunk their own, they sunk their own resources into this
Yeah.
movie. But I also agree that like you should probably pay bonuses because you made an obscene amount of money on a
It
on a
did.
thing.
Well,
It came out
they are
today
now.
that yeah,
They should,
the
yeah,
production
yeah,
company that's
Yeah.
making 50 mil currently from it is splitting it with him, the production designer, who by other union standards are severely underpaid.
for
Yeah.
sure. But like I kind of I do see a little bit of both sides. I don't think they shouldn't be paid anything. They should obviously be paid some nice little fat
Yeah.
bonuses, but
I
you
think
know,
part of this, honestly, I will also say, is a reaction to people trying to kind of in real time right some of the wrongs of the past. It's been an ongoing thing, but I know at least like a year or two ago, we had another row with the Blair Witch kids, who to this day have been like completely fucked out of any of the profitability
Yeah.
which
of
is wrong. Yeah.
of that film. And to the point where it's like it's being franchised out. They're now rebooting it a second and third time. And like Josh Leonard, excuse me, I shouldn't start because I can't remember all of their names. Heather Donahue and Mike.
I can never remember
Uh,
Mike's last name.
I can't either. That's why I shouldn't have done this. Anyways, Heather, Mike, and Josh, recently during like an anniversary thing, they just kind of like, I think there's like a reissue or something was happening with it.
Yeah, 4K.
And yeah, they just like kind of once again were like, hey guys, like, we're still sitting here all these years later, like the studio literally kept us from like being able to even take on other projects right in the wake of it because they were trying to maintain the fact that we were actually missing and dead. And like Josh Leonard's the only one who has really been able to eke out an indie movie career post the
Yeah.
movie, and they've all struggled, and that movie continues to be huge. So I think part of that, especially it being another horror movie, a small budget horror movie that's doing all this crazy shit financially, people in real time are like, hey, we're gonna raise a stink about this. Uh, but yeah, so that's been the other thing now
Yeah.
is uh,
Yeah.
the
I
financial aspect.
yeah, there's I mean, and I don't know. Like I said, I can see, kind of see both sides. I also think they should be, compensated, and that's not, but when you talk about someone like Indy Navarrete, she's going to have, I don't see why she wouldn't have a massive career after this because she's really talented and she obviously
Yeah,
is amazing in this
this
movie.
is going to be great for all parties involved, and ideally, you would think, hopefully, even the below the line people that can now put this on their
On
resume
their
and say like,
resume.
"Hey, I fucking
Yeah.
worked on Obsession. I
The
definitely I
the
knew what
art
I'm
Yeah.
doing."
design, did you read the one by the lady who was she did the art design for it and she also wore like 10 other hats. That was the one that kind of so she did everything from like I mean she was doing everything to like feeding the crew and she was doing all kinds on top of doing art design and probably all the sets and everything. But um yeah, when you start talking about someone who's doing that and they're doing and she like cleaned up sets after even after shooting was done and wasn't paid for it, I think, and stuff like that. It's like that's you got to compensate folks like that who really did pull their weight. I'm not talking about maybe just an extra or something like that, but
Yeah, yeah.
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 Um, but yeah, uh, I think it's gonna continue to crush. Like, there's no that I'm aware of. There's no real horror competition, and I'm like, there's a world where this like quietly stays on a couple screens like into the summer. I know they push back the VOD like release date of it because it's like, why bother? Why offer this to people at home yet when it's just like continuing to clean up at the box office?
And it started on less than 3,000 screens,
Yeah,
which is like a small ass number in today's world.
yeah. You love to see it, man. In general, very, very healthy box office the last several weeks, driven by both of these movies. So yeah, I think if you guys have any like lingering thoughts on it, throw them out there. But I'll at least text Brendan that he can rejoin and unmute if he wants to rejoin the conversation.
Good year for horror movies, that's for sure.
I didn't know that was Andy
Absolutely.
Richter until the credits.
Oh, great! Yes, great cameo, if you will. I as soon as I heard his voice, and then I was like, is the bit going to be that we never see him? And then they did show him for 2 seconds, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's pretty funny.
But mine was I know that voice, but I don't know who that is. But I know that voice. Like I know that voice well. Why can't I not piece this together?
The real question is, well, I guess we can wait till after we discuss Backrooms, but I've been thinking like there's still some stuff to come out this year in the same genre that could give these a run for their money. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are as pumped for Resident Evil as I am, but I am. I'm
Oh,
like beyond
we're
stoked for that one.
yes. We still haven't really discussed with Gav like what the game plan is, but like um July and August might be like Resident Evil rewatch month, jokingly, where we go through all of the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, most of which I've never seen, and you know, talk
Raccoon
about
City,
them
dude.
like they're
Check it
super
out.
super precious, and then go into the new reboot, and that hopefully theoretically trounces every
Check,
single one of those movies
so
by
you got to check
leaps and
out.
bounds.
You got to check out. Oh, I think it will. Yeah, you got to check out Raccoon City still because that was the first one of those movies that I saw that I felt captured the spirit of the game a little bit. So anyway, I've been those are we played those all the time growing up. So
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
so
we'll let Gavin basically curate a like, hey, here's what everybody's got to watch. That'll be the next thing after the heist movie, which by the way, that's all I've been doing outside of TV shows for the last
saw.
couple nights, man.
I've been doing some research. Saw a Kubrick movie recently I'd never seen
Oh
before.
yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, it's funny. Well, I don't want to ruin it, but the amount of influence that I realized immediately that it had on everything that came after it was unreal. I was like, this explains
It's
most things.
it's also a perfect movie, and it's not even a tight 90. It's less than a tight 90.
81 minutes, I think, is what it was,
Fucking
or something
so
like
perfect. Spoiler alert, it's on the list. Um,
that. No surprise, dude. It's on my list too, as of
spoiler
right
alert,
now.
it's in my top five. Spoiler alert, might be in my top three. Okay. Uh, Brendan, welcome back. We tried not to go too long. We can't wait for you to see it. Can't wait for Gavin to see it as well. Um,
Brennan's gonna love this one. Love Obsession.
and
I
again,
can't believe he hasn't seen.
I will definitely go with you again whenever you want to. I will say, guys, when we pushed it tonight, I kind of forgot last minute. I was like, oh shit, I need to go get a refund because I was supposed to go see Disclosure Day at
Mm.
9:40
No.
tonight. Yeah. So I'm gonna pivot, might catch that tomorrow morning, possibly. But still pretty excited for it, even though first round of reviews, the things I was hearing were the positives. I was like, okay, this sounds like typical people being generous towards Spielberg because they have to bow down or something. And then the things that people were kind of like, but I was like, oh man. And now I'm really worried. I'm like really worried.
I've
So
been worried, dude.
yeah, I mean the more trailers that they kept tacking on, I was like, eh, eh. I don't know, but I gotta, I gotta go support my boy. I just gots to. My boy being Josh O'Connor, not my boy Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
To be clear, one of my least favorite popular directors out there in his later era. To be clear, um, I don't have to go on
Yeah.
that whole rant again. Sorry. Again,
No, I'm with you, dude.
the
I'm with
fact that
you.
he's still
I'm with you
brought
on that.
a lot of people are like he's the household name, the like that's what people think of when they think of a director. I'm like, not for a long time, guys. Like, and the box office bears that out constantly. His name does not carry the same weight that it used to. But maybe it'll be good. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. Okay, Gavin remains to be seen. So, are we ready to enter the back rooms, gentlemen? Okay, I got some silent nods from everybody. Does anybody want to speak first? Everybody has seen the film. It's been out for a couple weeks now. Um, we can get into let's just dive in. We can backtrack to talk about people's level of interest in it prior and how they're feeling now.
I'd say
I
Patrick
know,
and I hadn't seen none of it, right? Patrick, you seen none of it?
Correct.
Yeah, I was the same
and
when I went
Brendan,
in cold.
Brendan, did you end up going in cold on the series when we watched it, or had you watched at least like a couple episodes?
Yeah, completely cold.
Okay, so all three of you were newcomers. So yeah, hopefully Gavin will be here soon. I'm very interested. I saw it with Brendan, so I know his take. Uh, Evan's the freshest, and we went to Patrick most recently. Ev, what'd you think of the back? What'd you think of Backrooms? Not the Backrooms, excuse me, just Backrooms.
So when we were walking out of the theater, I I had one thing that I was just like, I did not enjoy that at all. I don't think it made sense in the context of the story. When she would call it as euphoria's character just loses it somehow, and there's absolutely no explanation for it. and like a lot of things in the back rooms, there doesn't have to be an explanation for everything. But that particular part, I just couldn't get past because I was just it just didn't make sense with the rest of the movie. It just didn't make sense. Like all the things that were happening in the back rooms, all of this stuff. I mean, all that stuff was off the chart. I mean, it was amazing. It like it we I think in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and I just watched her in her chair. She had her head on her hands on her head, and she could barely look at the screen. And I'm like, here we fucking go, buckle up. And I felt the same way. I was absolutely terrified. And so there was like so much of that movie that worked so well for me. But that there was that one piece, and I remember, and I know that Kane Parsons didn't write the script, right? So um, it it makes sense that that's not necessarily his baby. I mean, he's got to take responsibility for it as the director probably because you can maybe tweak a screenplay, but I don't know what you thought about that. You guys thought about that part, but that part I just didn't make sense to me. He like lost his mind, or
I
I
totally
tried to.
I
But I
bought
think
into it so hardcore with him losing his mind
Okay,
because for me, the whole thing, like, I'm gonna say some words here, and I hope it makes sense. This is mumblecore Lovecraftian,
right,
and there's always a character at the Mountains of Madness who loses his shit in the in discovering the weird geometry and the shapes and just the insanity crushing down on him. And for me, it was Chiwetel. Like
I think
having read
the
so much Lovecraft, it I was like, yes.
Was it a length of time thing, Evan? Like, did it feel just quick and abrupt to you? Is that kind of
yeah.
what you're
If I had
saying?
felt, yeah, and I don't know if time is supposed to pass the same in there or not.
Well, without getting into any of the series, there is there's timey-wimey shit. I'm not gonna be explicit about it. The series isn't particularly explicit about it. But what I will say is like he was in there for a while before she
Okay,
comes to check on him. I think a lot of people keep seeming to miss this shot that people have highlighted. But when she goes back to the store, there's a pile of mail right out in front of the door, like presumably
got it.
multiple notices. So in my head, I'm like, that's months. Like
Okay.
that's months of time that he's been
Yeah.
in there. And that's independent of the fact that yes, weird shit can happen time wise when you're in the back rooms, and we do not fully know how time operates when you're in there.
And so that was
Uh,
the thing I was hung up on is how long was he in there? Did it make
we don't,
sense that he
we
lost his
don't,
mind?
we don't, we don't know. So, but to the extent I don't disagree with you that like in the context of the movie, it feels like we ended with him, we dip over to Mary for a little bit, and then as soon as we're reintroduced to him, what the fuck is up with it? Like what happened? What happened to him? And you feel like you almost missed a scene. For
Right.
me, again, even independent of the series, I was just like, dude, I have no idea how long he's been in here. Like, I'm fully convinced. Like, I don't know what's going on with him. I was immediately, uneasy as soon as he re-enters the scene with her, and then of course that escalates very, very quickly from there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so in terms of that, yeah, I didn't struggle with like how he got to there. And then as far as him kind of losing it or becoming, quote unquote violent, I think that was telegraphed by like the stuff we set up that's left unsaid about the background with the ex-wife and everything, and like I broke a glass or whatever. It's like he's given his side of the story, but we don't know how
I would.
violent that became. We don't know what, like, she threw him out of the
Right.
house. We don't know any of that. But I think if we're going with the idea that like Captain Clark, who we haven't mentioned yet, who shows up, is, a weird caricature amalgam of all of his rage and insecurity and
Right.
frustration of his station in life, coupled with, you know, the alcoholism of a drunk pirate sailor and his own drinking and like all of that all together. I honestly, first time through, they get to the dinner scene, and I'm like, okay, 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 buddy, you got to be real careful here. Like, I don't know if everybody's going for this. And about the time that Chiwetel
Says you can eat them.
Yeah, about
That,
the
dude,
time.
that
Yeah, about the
unsettling.
time that he pulls out the foamy belly, I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" I was so into it, and like I was good from that point. But I was actively saying to myself, I was like, "This scene will lose some people. This
Yeah.
is definitely not going to be uh, coherent or everybody's cup of tea or any of that." Gav, Gav,
Yes. Yes.
we're actually not that deep. I went to Ev at the start of this conversation, and all we were discussing currently is he was a little taken aback by the quick turn of Clark uh
Hmm.
in the back half and the ending of the movie, and we kind of were talking about our feelings of like where that may have come from. But we're jumping all around, but that's where we're at. That's literally all we've talked about. We did Obsession at the beginning of the episode. You haven't missed anything really.
Okay. Well, appreciate it, fellas. I don't know
Welcome,
why the
welcome into the back rooms.
yeah. This is lovely here. You got love what you guys did with the space. The lighting's a little but it's fine.
The acoustics are great. By the way, I am gonna put a like low level ambient
Mm,
hum
mm,
over this entire back half of the episode. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, that's where we're at. So broadly, you just saw it like the other night too. I think
Literally,
you're
literally
you're
yesterday, like
I
three in
think
the
you're the
afternoon.
freshest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I mean, I know how you feel because I got a text. But you want to let everybody else on the pod know what you thought?
I mean, I told you if I, I'm sure that like I'm gonna be working till I'm 80, dealing with the decisions that our parents' generation has made, because it's gonna be like a terrible hellscape, and I'm not gonna be able to do anything I want to do. But n- other than having like a child, knowing that these kids are gonna be making the horror movies for the next 20, 30 years, it won't be as bad as I thought it would be, because like, you know I don't know. I don't know why we don't. Maybe this will like kickstart people like letting kids make stuff, because I don't know. I was blown away. They were. This is how sad it is, guys. Monday, I went and saw The Mandalorian and Grogu with Becky because she was off. We saw it just her and I at the Beacon, nobody else. I go into back rooms and I look. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is in like one of the newer theaters at the very back of Beacon, but there's a couple people in here randomly on a Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Okay. And I went in there and there was like everybody from like older people to like kids who maybe don't know what this is, or kids who probably do know what this is. I couldn't tell. There was a mom and her son a couple seats away from me, and like he didn't really take me out of it, but he was talking to his mom a lot. And I'm like, does this kid think this was something else? This was this like another backrooms thing that he saw on the internet and didn't know that this was like something already done. I couldn't tell, and I didn't want to engage with him, but I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, probably my favorite movie I've seen in theaters this year. Definitely a 10.
Hell
Crazy.
yeah, brother. Uh, Patrick,
Yes.
what overall, what you know, sound sounds like you're on board for this one.
Yeah.
We got a group chat text of your adventure going to see this thing.
Yes.
But
And
yeah,
like
tell us
I'm
about
I'm
that.
sorry, I was full of existential dread when I was sitting there at the end of the movie. I didn't want to move for fear of what would greet me when I went out that door. Like I didn't know. Like I was completely transported to the back rooms, for lack of a better term. Like this was a transformative movie in that like I experienced something and I was not sure how I felt about it, and I was not sure how I felt about the world around me. I just knew that I wanted to be somewhere safe, and the theater was right then it for safety until they started cleaning up, and I'm like, that person's been a little too close to me. That person, like, I'm on a slope, so they're a little taller than me. I got a weird perspective. I got to get out of here. And then I went out and sent you the picture of what I found outside. Like, I've not had as visceral a feeling at the end of a movie as I have at the end of this movie in a long time. It I do not want to see it again.
It's
The
oh, that's
the
a
more you
great compliment.
the more you sit with it too, that I feel like I've liked it the further I've got from seeing it the first time. Like, so I was like, I wouldn't say I was lukewarm when I walked out. I knew I liked it, and it really gets your imagination going just with all of the, because it doesn't have to show you everything, it doesn't have to tell you everything or explain everything. It just gets you into that, like Patrick was saying, that space where you're just scared shitless. Like I know there's one place I would never want to be, and it's there. And the more have sat with it, I find myself thinking about it like a lot more than what, like, say, Obsession, which I think is going to make its rewatchability, at least for me, I don't know, it's going to be a lot more rewatchable. There's going to be more to go back to and kind of like re-experience that. It felt a little more like an experience than like a Obsession. You could see that and not see it again for a long time. Even as great as it was, I loved Obsession, but yeah, I feel like this one is one you're going to be able to go back to, like a Mulholland Drive kind of. That's kind of like a feeling I got from it in a way. It's going to have high rewatchability, and there's a lot you can take from like subsequent watches. So I don't know.
Brendan?
And you guys
Nope.
said you were talking about you'd just gotten to Clark's kind of change at the
We
end.
and yeah, we dove like straight to that because Ev was like, that's kind of the only thing that didn't work
There's
for
nothing I
you,
brushed
right?
up against.
Yeah.
It was the only thing that made me. I kept thinking about, like, does that make sense? Like I don't.
This okay, I have this weird theory, but let's let Brendan give his reaction. Then I want to go back to that real quick.
Well, I just typed it all out. I gotta go.
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
okay.
sorry.
So no, you're straight.
Sorry we took so
Everything that I
long.
think about the movies in that. So y'all take it. Noah can read it, and then just give me a shout later.
Love you, dude. All right. I will read this
A dope voice though. You gotta
with
come up not a
great
Brendan
reverence.
voice. Yeah.
Not a Brendan voice.
Yeah, just like a
I'll just read it in my own voice. Thank you very much.
oh come on. All right.
What do you want? You want something bassy? You want gravel?
Give me a little the
You want it up
movie.
here? Do
Yeah.
you want me to do
No,
it like
no,
this?
no, stop right now. Thank you.
See, the
All right,
movie is an
so
allegory
back
for
so
getting
back.
your the movie is an allegory for getting your lost in
There will
your
be blood.
mind.
That's right. Daniel Plainview. Yeah, let's do that.
Levels of the back rooms,
Yeah,
Lucy.
but nobody will be able to appreciate it if you insist on doing the entire thing in that manner. The
In
movie is
that
an
manner.
allegory for
I
getting
say the
lost
movie is an allegory for
in
getting
your own
lost
mind.
in
The
your
levels of
own
the back
mind.
rooms losing detail the further you go down is similar to the further you get away from the time of an incident, the less you actually remember. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's back now. Is he?
Read it like restart it. Read it like Rust Cole. Read it like Rust Cole.
Read it like you paint your Frenchman.
I don't know if I can do that. Okay,
I'll
seriously.
buy what he's saying.
The movie is an allegory for getting lost in your own mind. The levels of the backrooms losing detail the further you go down is similar to the further away you get in time from an incident, the less you actually remember. Captain Clark eating himself is an analog to not forgiving, will keep you stuck. Yeah, is analogous to not forgiving, excuse me, will keep you stuck in the past. The concept of time doesn't exist because how often one person lives in their head is different than the next person. Movie's great. 7.5 on initial ask. Loved it more as time went on. Sitting at 8, 8.5. I knew I'd talk him into it, dude. When he gave me the 7.5 coming out of the theater, I was like, but you did, the way you just talked about it, it sounded like you loved it. It is difficult to sit with, as everyone is saying, because it's difficult for us to sit with our own thoughts as is. Beautifully said, Brendan. I wish you'd stuck around and said it yourself, man. That was great. That was lovely. Um,
Heart emoji.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ev, to your point, um, yeah, as soon as I came out, I was like, well, I want to see that again, first of all, but also just like the whole subsequent week, I was just like, it's just banging
It's
around in the
back and
old
around in the
noggin there,
back of the
dude.
noggin. Yeah,
And
Evan, are you coming from a place of having seen all of the
it's
YouTube
nothing. I
from?
was cold. I came in
That's
cold.
see, because that's perfect. Because I'm coming out of it like, all right, well, based off what I've seen and when I quote unquote know, this works perfectly for someone who's never seen anything about it and does and maybe will want to. But if they're like, I don't feel like I don't want it's YouTube, I don't engage with YouTube like that. I'm not going to that for horror. I'm just well, it's whatever. you could still like love this and be like, I'm completely enthralled with it, knowing that there's a whole series I've never seen, but also, I don't have to go see that. But it's one of those like Noah and I, if you had and you kind of know where this sits relative to like any sort of timeline, you're like, okay, this actually is like perfect, and it
Yeah,
as far as I'm
yeah.
concerned.
So, Gav, of course, as soon as I walk in and sit down in the theater, in the back of my head, I am like, all right, like, how palatable is he gonna make this for like people who are unfamiliar, and how lore heavy is he going to make it? And yeah, when it just like the first thing we see on screen is the
It's
async
ASIC,
logo, I
yeah.
was like, oh, okay, so he's definitely like this shit's gonna. I'm like, I'm glad I rewatched the series for the third time
Right,
before I went and saw this. Yeah.
right, yeah.
Uh, and so I was like, I felt rewarded in that aspect for sure. I guess what I want to like, what I think Gav and I may be able to like highlight without like spoiling any of the series or just like getting into a list of like, well, here's the things that happened in that and blah blah blah. My like for me coming from that perspective, it was immediate, dude. The first time you see an arm reach out and grab a duffel bag,
Hmm.
I'm like, he's doing it for real. He's doing it for real. Because up until this point, it's always been in Blender. There's a certain level of non-interactivity
Hmm.
in the videos, purposefully so, because he's working with what he can. But just the realization that I'm like, we're watching the aesthetic that I'm used to, but they're doing it for real. Like,
This
holy
thing's got
shit.
some money behind it.
Like I was just like, oh oh my God. I was immediately immediately giddy. But also I talked about this a little bit on the previous pod, the idea of like, okay, you're going from an experience that is usually on a laptop or on your phone or, on a big screen if you got the YouTube app. Um, but you're at home, you're usually by yourself taking these like, you know, these videos that are usually digested that way and then putting them in a big screen context with a narrative kind of shaped around it and an audience. Like, is that going to feel weird being in these spaces that usually when you're watching the videos, I don't know if this is the same for you, Gav, but like particularly the found footage ones, there's three in the
Hmm.
series. There's more found footage elements, but there's specifically three found footage videos that have different protagonists. And you're like it's very experiential and you're in the shoes.
Hmm.
And so much of for me what works about liminal space and particularly in this concept is it's it's the isolation, the loneliness, and the vastness. It's not this like claustrophobia, it's the opposite of it. It's like it's endless and you're by yourself and there's no like it goes on forever essentially. um And so when you're watching them, like you're in the shoes. It plays on that more, which I was like, how are you, how's that gonna feel now shaping a narrative around it? And I felt like everything he did, I thought was pretty fucking expertly observed in terms of taking what I had seen in the series and what I thought was effective about it and moving it to a big screen context. But what I think is unique and what you'll experience with the series is, like I said, the the protagonist and the way the perspective shifts and the greater narrative that's being told, etc. Because
Yeah.
there is a world where like this is just episode 23, and to that respect, one thing, this is not really a spoiler for the series, but what's unique about Clark is he chooses to go into the back rooms.
That's what I was
He
gonna say.
comes out and goes back in again.
There's still a
He makes an
narrative that like,
active choice to explore it. He's the first guy we've ever seen that goes
mhm,
into this space and is like, I kind of dig it here. And so that from the get-go, Ev, to the point of like him going crazier later in the movie, I immediately was like, dude, any guy that's like, this is my shit, this is not gonna end well. Like I was like, this is gonna go bad. And that's not necessarily a trend of every prior protagonist or anything. It's not like the backrooms just drives you crazy and you lose your shit. That's not like a given sort of thing.
Right.
But But I would just say, like, as soon as I was like, oh, he digs this shit, like, and he's intrigued by it in the way that, like, we usually are as an audience, but, like, it seems to go beyond that. Like, he feels comfortable and found here, basically. Uh, that's when I was like, this is this is no good. This is no bueno. He is, yeah, something bad's gonna go down here. And
I
this is
have
before we
since
get,
made it
you
to
know,
episode 15,
hell yeah, Patrick.
so I
What
still got a little more to go.
are you liking the series?
Uh, it comes and goes for me. Uh, like there's some that I really really like, and some I'm like, that could have been longer than 3 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
I will say the ones that feel fragmented and puzzle piecey like that
Yeah,
are some of my faves. I don't know. I'm trying to think chronologically like which ones you've gotten to, but there's a lot there. He's a
yes.
very what I will say is he's intentional. There's not no
Yeah,
there's
that
nothing
nothing is not.
there's
Yeah,
nothing superfluous. Everything is has some sort of relevance either to the greater theme or he is setting something up narratively.
I've seen that in some of the ones that well, like I can't remember where it's like, oh, that one built on the thing that I saw like 5 videos ago.
Oh yeah, and again the chronology of things too. One of my favorite bits is we get a it's like a collection. It's just seemingly like random home movie still photographs. Is Brendan here and just like not like I thought you were frozen on the screen. I thought you were going away.
I
I
came
read
back
your
for a second. I'm here.
oh I read we read
Got
your whole
about
thing,
like
dude. It was
We liked
fucking it
it.
was beautiful, man. It was
oh
like
yeah,
really
what
well
you think?
said. Like we kind of
Yeah.
wish you had just said it yourself.
Oh, dude. I mean, that's what you and I talked about afterwards when I was trying to semi make sense. There was a point you and I talked about it that I don't know if you said this while I was gone, but when animated Captain Carl was chasing Mary, uh,
Captain Clark. And I will
it
point out, I will
Captain Carl would have
point
been a good
out
name too.
that is an actor, and that's prosthetic makeup
yeah,
effects on the head, except
it
for the up
reminded
close
me.
shot when she's bashing it. We get some CG augmentation, for the snarling and stuff. But that is they built that shit, and that is a 7 foot tall, the same dude who was in Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
And
that
whole scene.
I'm just saying, if it looked like it was a digital effect to you, I mean,
it probably
that
wasn't.
that is performance. I'm just saying, like the Captain Carl, that they built that, or they didn't build it. That's a guy in a suit
Yeah.
with a mask on. Yeah.
Uh, anyway,
Sorry, Brendan.
going through the door while she's trying to like run away and go up into like the area while she's trying to get away from this guy. Like I was having semi PTSD moments of it follows. I was
yes, same,
like
dude. I thought of the same movie.
like breathing heavy the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh, dude.
Dude,
And
Brendan.
you didn't know
So
you were watching a trailer for It's Still Following.
Brendan, oh, why did you move? Was there people behind us? Somebody was vaping or something?
Dude, it was like the two kids that were like to the left of us would like stop on this. You probably didn't pay attention, but there was
No,
two
because when I'm in the theater, I watch the fucking movie.
and they would
There's
just like
nothing else
sitting there
exists.
and they were just like chiefing on their vape. We're just sitting there. I'm like, bro, like I just want to watch this movie, and you're blowing the shit. So I just moved to the other side. I said, fuck it. But as soon as I moved, I'm like ducking my head when this thing's like trying to follow Mary, and I'm like looking back semi at Noah to see like, all right, is he scared too, or is it just me?
When they, dude, okay, so I could talk about that whole sequence and we'll backtrack in a second, but basically, like, after the smoke has gone off and she's crawling on the floor towards the gap in the doorway right before she encounters the async guys, and it's like you see the door, you cut back, fog, 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 you see the door, you cut back, and he's on top of her, like Brendan, I see him from like he's 2 rows down from me in the corner, and I just see him like I saw the physical like dude, and I was like, it got him, it fucking got him. This is great. Um,
Dude, it was terrifying. That moment was terrifying.
And I love that it
It was
worked for
scary.
you because opening night, there was some people that as soon as Captain Clark was revealed were like, the fuck is this shit? Like, it definitely was not for everybody.
Dude, there was a moment, but when I like tried to bring myself back in, and like you and I were talking about, okay, this is actually a metaphor for the fact of like he's forgiven Mary, but his like mental backroom space doesn't want him to forgive Mary, so it eats himself in a sense to like keep him tied to the past. And so it's just like,
Let's see, you say all that, but the brilliant thing about it that I don't know if you guys have brought up, and if anybody's listened, spoiler is the last piece of the movie when what's his face comes in, he's like, I'm trying I go in and I do my job every day. I'm just trying to find out something new about it every day. Like that to me makes it a perfect movie because you can put all of this like, oh, it means this, it means that on there. But if at the end of the day, you still get like, hey, we don't know what this thing is. We don't know what it does. We don't know how it is. All I'm doing is trying to go in here every day and learn something new. Can you tell me anything about it? That to me makes it perfect because anybody watching it, whether they've seen this series, whether they haven't, they can project what they think is happening on the entire thing. But it is still a little sly note from the creator being like, I don't know. Sure, it is that. It is a subconscious mind thing, and every person who goes through it, develops it's their world fragmented over and over, copied over and over.
yeah,
And it's like all that stuff
but
that you were told.
doesn't that still pay homage to what we're saying? I mean, the mind is one of the most misunderstood things. Everybody's trying to figure it out every day, and it means
That's what I'm
something
saying.
different to everybody.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this thing is perfect, is because like you can put everything you want on it, and it tells you, hey, oh, I think they're okay. You can eat them. Like it's just a copy of a copy of a copy. Like Clark gives you all this stuff,
But
and you're like,
again,
okay,
that this is one protagonist's perspective
exactly,
on what he thinks this means. And
exactly.
also, this dude at this point, pardon my French, is fucking crazy.
And that leads me to my bigger point, my overall thing, my overall theory of all of this is that there's three possible things that are happening here.
Don't drink
One,
and beat your wife.
no, one, this kid has seen everything about Lovecraft and he likes him. Two, this kid has seen everything that people who like Lovecraft made and he likes it. Or three, he is just Lovecraft reincarnated 100 years later because this is
Hopefully,
just all
without all the racism and bigotry.
obviously not like a better version of the Lovecraft of our time, what we need, because that's what I get from all of this is it is still it's just this instead like in every
Love of poor
Lovecraft, it's like
Lovecraft.
yeah, a guy goes crazy. And
My,
here we have it. This dude goes crazy, and she knows it. She knows it. She can see it, but she's still of mind to try and like, all right, just let me get out of here, dude. Just untie me.
well,
Like, all
okay,
right, you know.
we haven't really talked about Mary at all or Renata, and I will just say broadly, I thought everybody was fucking great in this movie
Yeah.
performance
Yes.
wise,
Yes.
but Renata Reinsve, Mary, uh, that element of it and performance, I feel like clicked for me even more on the second viewing, um, where it's like her response to her encounter with it is basically the polar opposite of not the polar opposite, but it's definitely different than Clark's. It basically, she has kind of the natural, I would say, human reaction, but it kind of shatters everything for her. And to me, I was like, in my head, all internal logic, because I think it's on screen, but it's not like just straight out stated, but it's like she's sitting there going, well, if this fucking thing that this guy came to me with is real, then maybe all the shit, whatever was going on with my mom, whatever was happening with her
Was also
when I
real.
was a
Maybe
kid,
that was real too.
possibly could have been a real thing. I've spent my entire life basically trying to cope with that by healing all these other people because I couldn't heal my mom and blah, all of that shit. And she basically encounters this space and she's like, you know what? I don't know anything actually. I have no qualifications to tell anybody about how anything works. And it's like,
Exactly.
that's a whole other level of the madness or the brain breaking thing of just like her world, her reality is kind of shattered in that moment. And I think it's
Yeah.
a very, it's subtle in some ways and not in others. But like, I think like things that might feel clunky in that dinner scene in terms of like her dialogue, even, I think are just like, it's her glitching the fuck out, dude. She's like having a normal reaction to like, I've been in this space for literally like 10 minutes, and all of a sudden you're eating fucking people in front of me. There's people with fractured faces. This guy's over here with a lamp, and his face is doing this thing. I think she's truly just like, what the fuck is what is what is reality right now? And sorry, personal phobias. I don't have like a vertigo thing necessarily, but I have had dreams. Gavin, I think this is tied to when I fell down the basement stairs at Mimi's
Yes,
when we were
100%. Yeah.
kids.
Hmm.
So when she gets into that big open space
Nah, fuck that, dude. When she,
and
Yeah.
it's the stairwell
mm-mm,
she's got to go up and
mm.
there's no railing, and she has to go up, and the angle of her trying to open that door, and then when she opens the door it like falls on top of her and then falls into the abyss. That for me personally was
Hmm.
like maybe the most pants shitting like thing in the entire movie, a movie that I had already definitely been like, oh my god, like throughout, but that really that tapped into really like something deep buried back in there, my own childhood like trauma. But yeah, I fell down the basement stairs at my Mimi and Paws and busted the shit out of the back of my head. Second head trauma injury. The other one was caused by Gavin
Yep, that was in Japan years later.
years prior, I think, actually.
Late, yeah,
Or
after
maybe
that,
my
yeah.
timeline's off. Anyways,
PlayStation controller to the back
um
of the head.
I sorry, I did want to.
Giant television right to the
Yeah,
back
a
of it. He had
giant
four staples.
yeah, a big
Oh, so
chunky like
real actual head
tube
trauma.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah, actual head trauma. Yeah, yeah.
Four staples back of the head.
Hmm.
Anyways,
Again,
uh,
after falling
I
down all
want,
these stairs, because that
I,
was when he was like 3,
He's a
and
resilient guy, that no.
I
yeah, he
want,
is.
I want to jump back to another like series plug essentially, and piggyback on something Gavin was just talking about in regards to what does it all mean, and do we need to provide narrative answers, et cetera, et cetera. My favorite singular episode in the entire YouTube series, Patrick, you're going to get to it soon. Gavin, you've obviously already seen it. It's called Lighting and Tile Survey, about 4 or 5 minutes long. And it's just async, and they're researchers. They take one of the lighting tiles out of the ceiling from the back rooms to examine it, because it's like, okay, we're wondering how all this shit got here. Like, literally, there's these lights. Like, where'd these lights come from? It is the most detailed, like, scientific breakdown of everything that goes into a light bulb, like all the different gases and components and everything. There's diagrams. There's like all this different shit. And there's this female narration, and it goes on. Again, it's only like 4.5 minutes, but it's just kind of like calmly talking to you, and there's some of Kane's ambient music in the background. And the reason it's my favorite is, again, it is science trying to put something that is fundamentally unknowable in a box, and it is so like serious about it, but like it's commenting on it without commenting on it. Like, he is showing you like, look at the effort to explain something that is inherently unexplainable, because spoiler alert for that episode, they pull them out, and like they literally have a manufacture date and like a company that they came from. They're Sylvanian light bulbs. There's no it all it
Nothing
does
alien
is
about it. Nothing weird.
make you go, and excuse me, and they have seemingly an independent power source. When they are disconnected from the grid, the lights still glow. Um, it makes no sense. They do everything they can to wrap their head around it, and there is no answer. And I think it is the most informative episode about all of this, and taps into the inherent madness of trying to understand the unknown, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and that's what I
It,
think is brilliant about the series and the movie. As Gavin was saying, it doesn't negate anything that came before it. And for me personally, as a huge fan of the series and the quote unquote lore, it it didn't reveal anything that fundamentally altered or
mhm.
explained too much. That's ultimately the thing we don't want, and I don't think we'll ever fully get. And it's kind of the unspoken contract is like, you're dude, continue to walk this fine line of like drips and drabs of information. I know you know the story you're telling, but I don't need to understand all parts of it. You can just show me little tiny portions of it. Go watch the series. I highly recommend it to everyone. And I do, if anybody's kind of just like maybe wants to go down this rabbit hole a little bit more, I did bring a little list of recommendations for some other YouTube centric, uh, specifically analog horror and some liminal space related stuff as well. But any other like thoughts on backrooms or sequences or
Did
anything you
we
guys want to get into?
did we discuss the homage-ness of having it in a furniture store? Did we talk about that
No,
yet?
no, but
But
that's
that was
yeah.
fucking brilliant
It was. It was.
because furniture stores are themselves liminal spaces.
Well, like, and I've read online that supposedly someone had tracked the original image from
Oh no, they
2019, that like it was actually a furniture store to begin with, and I don't know
Mhm.
if
it
anybody if
was
that had
yeah,
been stated anywhere. So
it's in Oshkosh, Wisconsin,
Wisconsin, yeah, it's still the
and they
store's
were
still there, but they've like renovated over it or something, I
yes,
think.
you can't see
Yeah,
it looks absolutely nothing like the space anymore. But I can't remember if I said this on the last pod or not, but I'm very much looking forward to haunted houses this year because I'm thinking a lot of places are going to try and do their own versions of this, and I'm
Yeah.
very
Oh yeah.
excited to see what people come up with, dude.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited. And yeah,
Two
Blumhouse has the
scenes.
tie-in with Universal. There's definitely going to be a Halloween Horror Nights backrooms
Did
experience.
we didn't talk about the scene where he brings the other two.
Oh yeah, kind of the
I
VHS
loved
set
that
piece.
Oh,
whole bit because it makes it more real when he's alone. It doesn't drag necessarily, like it kind of captures the imagination, but when he brings two other people in with him, to me it just the intensity of it, the excitement of it, I mean it was like went up a notch in a big
It,
way, I thought.
so when he goes to recruit them and everything, I was like, I know this is like kind of a newer reference point, but like I'm getting a little bit of Nope vibes, you know, like, all
Yeah.
right, we got the crew and we're on a mission and like we're gonna go in and we're gonna explore. And it goes very, it takes
It's
a
bad
hard left turn
immediately,
like
just
really
bad
quickly.
immediately.
Um, but yeah, dude, them coming through the wall and him setting up oh yeah, there's a pool, which that's a whole other dude, you gotta get into the series. The pool rooms are creepy as fuck. There's so many oh man, so many little rabbit holes and
The
stuff.
Christmas tree room was the other part to me. It
Dude.
just went, oh, I
Ah.
like that was just holy shit.
Yes.
When he
Um,
finally sees her in the red dress. Is it so I did have one question that was like unclear for me. Um, she because his wife looked like she had red hair. It was that lady in the red dress supposed to be some sort of copy of his wife, maybe?
the implication and yeah, I think is meant
Okay.
to be that that is a misremembered uh version of his wife,
Okay.
which is why like when he's going around the table and he's like, yeah, that guy somewhere out there there's a guy in a chair with a lamp. Somewhere out there there's, a bearded guy with that plaid shirt. And then when he gets to her, he doesn't say a specific, he doesn't reference her, but the implication to me was like somewhere out there, my wife's still around because specifically the red hair. They show you the one picture, and people have subsequently. This is also I've been watching all the different theories and stuff, and some of them are completely ridiculous, but I love watching people's harebrained schemes about all of it. But they have the thought was that possibly there was an event between the two of them. Possibly that night he got thrown out of the house was tied in with Christmas, like he came home drunk or something,
Uh,
and that when he goes into that space, he's in that fractured memory of that moment or whatever.
okay.
Why dude in the chair with the lamp is in that scenario, I have no idea. But that's backrooms, man.
That was some David
Um,
Lynch shit. The guy in the chair with the
here's
lamp. That's what
so
I was. That's what I
here's
was
what I
thinking.
love,
Dude,
and I
Noah
am
said that he said, I can't wait to go to the pod to
I was
see
so
how
Ev, I
long
was
it
so
takes.
worried you were. Oh, go ahead, Brendan. Sorry.
No, I dude, it's just third hand. Noah was like, I'm so afraid that Evan might not buy into it because it's gonna be like too David Lynch. He's like, at some point he's gonna bring up David Lynch.
But that was the only part. That was the only part I would say. I talked about Mulholland Drive. I remember that getting similar feelings from the two of them. Like there's more going on than what you're seeing, obviously, on the surface. Does that make sense? That was
Right.
what made me think of
I mean, I
Mulholland Drive.
I think the movie to me, and maybe I'm just simplifying it too much. Maybe like Gavin said, it means something to everybody else. But I think it's actually much simpler than in a genius way than we're trying to make it to be. I mean, even that scene where Captain Clark's animated version comes in and the wife runs away. You could definitely say that like, hey, like that animated version of Captain Clark was who he was in their relationship, drunk, abusive, all the above, right? And then he shows up, and then that version of her tries to run away because she's trying to get away from that situation. It's
And he tries to destroy himself,
and he
and
tries
Captain
to,
Clark tries to eat
yeah,
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Clark tries to eat him. The part that caught me off guard, I know the part that really caught me off guard out of the whole thing is in a movie where like you don't know what you're gonna get was Cat's head in the refrigerator. I was not expecting that.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. I didn't. I was like,
Yeah.
who the fuck did
That
that?
part caught me off guard.
He either he killed her or Captain Clark killed her, or you know what? Maybe
Something
something
else.
else, guys. Maybe something else.
Oh, there was one other thing. I'm sure you guys, maybe somebody knows this because Sam and I were talking about this one a lot. The part, before it cuts to, eventually to the next time we see him, he's lost his mind or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
when he's trying to talk through, what was her name, Cat, through the
Talk
wall.
through the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that part like boggled the mind a little bit. I was like, wait, they just saw each other. And Howard she can see him, but he can't see her. Why?
Yeah.
That just got the imagination going quite a bit. Like what actually, because they never explained it, and I kind of like that they, like you said, they don't explain everything, which I can appreciate. It gets the
It's nice.
imagination going. Yeah,
I will
The
say to the point of like new things for me and Gav, we've never seen multiple like
people.
damage
Okay.
points.
we've seen async people in groups, specifically
Mhm.
always groups of three, and
Right.
trying to like stick together because you can get lost in there and everything. So they have like strategies
Hence,
and shit.
hence the opening.
Yeah, yeah, the dude who lost his other two guys, and that's why he's freaking the fuck out. So yeah, we don't really know like if you have two people in the same areas or whatever, it's like are they on their own visual trip once they've gotten separated? They think
Got
they're
it.
and I mean again, I don't want to spoil, but there's moments in the series, one particular moment where the wall thing that we're kind of discussing was first introduced, and it's towards the end of the series, and we still didn't quite know what it meant then. Gav, you know what I'm talking about? It's in Found Footage
Found Footage
3, the
3.
really
Yeah,
long one.
yeah.
So what I
Which has
assume,
that has the creepiest like
dude,
visuals as
it
far as like
had
it being fully built out, like the city he finds himself
it
in and the
might
homes he finds. It's wild.
there are moments in the series that when you watch it, you'll be like, "Well, dude, I think that was fucking scarier than the movie." Like, no bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%,
There are things
100%.
that will fucking absolutely like, go beyond the movie in terms of scares and just like creeping into your subconscious, like, oh, dude, the implications. What does this all mean? Like,
That's what I had to tell Becky. I was like, this would not bother you. Like, if you want to go watch it, you would not really. There's not a lot of like
Yeah.
things that would bother
not
you.
really a lot of gore.
There's not a
No,
ton of gore.
it's not. I mean, it's. I mean,
The
again,
found footage type of shooting is really kind of what makes me the most unsettled in the It Follows portions. But um, I am curious if there's any thought on what if there is one a purpose for the Middle Eastern dude speaking like 18 languages on the
Oh, I
post.
forgot about that.
It's like
Wait. Say again.
the Middle
Cardboard
Eastern
cutouts.
looking guy that's a poster board that's speaking
Yeah.
all
see,
languages.
we see that
Yeah.
in what, one or two? Is it two or three that we see that guy,
Yeah.
the caveman?
Yeah. Async has set those up essentially as not traps necessarily, but presumably we're not quite sure at this point. They're either like traps for potential entities like Captain Clark or other still lifes that might be in there.
Sure.
And they also might be, hey, these are, um, greeting points to hopefully guide people who have found their way into the back
Wandered in
rooms
there.
to possibly
because
direct them towards the facility where they will
they
be
see him
studied, et cetera, et cetera.
they see him on camera first before they set that up, right? That was
Mhm.
something he saw the second time in. Was it was speaking to him in different languages.
Uh,
They'd already seen him walk in on camera, right?
No, no,
No,
no,
because
no,
he
no,
finds the
no.
bag, right? He sees that thing and then he walks into the room and finds the bag. Is that how that goes?
And then he goes into the throne
And
room.
he
He
goes into
finds the
the other
bag of
room.
stuff. He goes into the
Yeah.
throne room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I
But
thought they'd
Gab,
seen him come in
What
beforehand.
you're saying
That he-
is there's a shot, a very cool moment in my book where the realities are bleeding together. Where but Clark is staying, he's living at the furniture store, and he's
right.
watching TV, and it cuts for a sec, like there's
Oh,
interference,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
he sees that shot, which is the same shot that Duplass is going to see of him walking through that door. And what he sees in the door frame, it's kind of obscured because it's a creepy shot and angle, is the caveman cardboard cutout
Okay.
standing in that silhouette or whatever. So
Which
it's
All
those
right.
two shots I think you're
I
thinking
pretty
of.
just
terrifying.
yeah, I was thinking like the first time he went in, they saw him on camera, but it was before he got to that room, so they'd set that up later. But yeah, you're right.
Well,
Yeah,
again,
okay.
dude, I've seen multiple theories at this point about when things are happening time wise because again, people people seem to have a like, wait, so Captain Clark was in there the whole time, and I'm like, yeah, because he's been living next to a null zone or gateway, whatever they call them, like this whole time. So like his reality has been seeping in there the whole time. But
But
like Captain Clark is in the opening, like he is the thing down the hall.
yeah,
let me ask because I it seemed
I caught
like
that.
the thing that grabs whatever cat's boyfriend or whatever that works in the store,
Hmm.
that was something different though, right?
That's what I've been saying. Yes.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what was like that was why that scene worked so well for me. So like there's who knows what the fuck's down here, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. And it's kind of the standard was the Hitchcockian, like the thing that you don't see is a lot of times much scarier than the thing that you do
Hmm.
see.
To the point where I told Brendan, I was like, dude, yeah, did you not see the like kind of tentacly or like
Yeah.
cable thing coming out? He was like, wasn't that just the rope attached to Bobby or whatever? And I was like, maybe it was. Maybe I saw it wrong, but in my head, I was like, dude, what the fuck just took him? What was that? And I will say, having seen the series, I have theories. I'm sure Gavin does too. We won't tell you about
Are
it,
you
but
talking
like,
about when
there's
Bobby
other
came?
shit. There's other shit
Oh,
down there for
you're
sure.
talking when he came. Wait, not that when he got pulled down, or when he was like taken through that
When
door.
all we see is him get pulled up through the chute, like once Clark and Kat have fallen through as well, and the camera gets picked up.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was just the rope form too. I didn't realize it was could have been a tentacle thing, but
I've
I thought
watched
it
it
was just
twice now, and I'm convinced it's a fucking tentacle. But then Brendan said, "Well, isn't that just the rope?" And I'm like, dude, it might be, and maybe I'm just like seeing things that aren't there. Maybe it is supposed to be Captain Clark, but in my head, all of those things building together, and the fact that we know that it's not like this is a solo, and again, these things are infinite. Um, and I will say notably, nothing that we see in the movie is a space that we have seen in the series. Like there's iconography that I think
right.
overlaps, and I think there might be one actual like singular location that carries over, but pretty much every time we have like a found footage section or something in the series, you're exploring a whole new space and area. It's not the same over and over again. Lending to the point that maybe it is, you know, the individual's memories or, the detritus of whatever's around them, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, we could
It
go down this whole rabbit hole for forever, but I'm glad everybody at least like had a good time with it after us hyping it up. Any final thoughts while I mean, and again, if you guys don't want these recs, I can just text them to you, but I figured we'd shout out a couple series before we get
do it.
out of here. Um, if you're in the mood for again YouTube horror and specifically liminal space with a psychological horror bent, High I'm Mary Mary. It's about 22 episodes long, YouTube series, entirely self-shot, I believe, by I forget the creator's name. We're just going to call her Mary for the sake of this. But girl wakes up in her house. She has amnesia. She only remembers her name and very few details about herself. She goes to all of the doors in her house to try to go outside and is unable to open them. And she tries to break windows. She is unable to do that. And she begins to become confronted by different things that appear in her house, and it escalates from there. But it is pretty very interesting, dark psychological series. I won't get into too many details, but give it a shot. Check it out. It's very much its own thing. Very creative. One that is currently ongoing that I would recommend everybody give a look at is called Glendale Archives. Only about 6 or 7 deep at this point. But this is about a guy who is living, he's the last man on Earth, basically, except for these things called nesters. So he's essentially living in an empty world, uh, which he explores on a regular basis. He's slowly, maybe possibly losing his mind, but there's elements of cooking show and like health and beauty like in this that seem weird when I say that surface level, but like you just have to just give one or two of these a shot. It's a very particular tone, but I think these things are creepy as fuck. It's ongoing. It's a very like the way he's accomplishing these shoots is pretty incredible. But this guy is managing to sustain that he is living in an empty world like on a regular basis, and the things he is out capturing is fucking dope. Glendale Archives, check that one out. Uh, Jumping off from Kane Parsons, specifically, The Oldest View is kind of his main follow-up series after Backrooms and is dealing with a lot of similar themes regarding nostalgia and the passage of time and how we remember things, and is a little more anchored in real-world events, which also Backrooms, spoiler alert,
Has a
flirts
ton of
with
that.
flirts with as well. So Oldest View, highly recommend. And then People Still Live Here is his other one that's kind of possibly still ongoing, but is plays basically like a lost like 90s PC game about like an obscure artist, and maybe the game is haunted, but like everything you're watching are essentially like playthroughs of the it's fucking cool, it's creepy, it's weird. Uh, there's a guy named Beckett Wagner who did a series called School Rumors. If you like the POV style of Backrooms and just exploring, like, hey, shit that shouldn't be here, School Rumors is about a guy and a series of protagonists over a series of years who discover a hidden elevator in, like, a school building, and go and explore it and discover that there's a hidden basement down below the school, and people keep rediscovering this, and people keep not coming back. A lot of people go missing. So it's a series exploring that. He has a couple other ones that I have not dipped into yet, but yeah, School Rumors from Beckett Wagner. Just a one shot that I sent to Gav just to freak him the fuck out is called My House Walkthrough. It's one of the
Nope.
scariest things you'll ever see in your entire life. It's about
Do
eight
not
to
watch
ten
it.
minutes
Do
long.
not watch it at night.
You're only allowed to watch it after midnight.
Do
It's
not.
called My House Walkthrough. One of
Don't
the most terrifying pieces
turn
of
all the lights
internet
on.
content, and it's something you're gonna watch and be like, "Oh, okay, was this done in like Blender or something, like similar to how Kane Parsons did Backrooms?" And Gavin, the answer is no. It was shot practically, and isn't that fucking terrifying to think about?
That makes it 10 times worse. Don't watch it at night. Turn all your lights
My
on.
House Walkthrough, great
Nope.
shit.
What movie is
But
this? Where we on?
It's a YouTube series. You don't need to watch it, Brendan. You're
I'm just
fine.
recommending creepy, weird YouTube shit that deals with liminal space or analog horror as recommendations for people. Uh, and then this is my big secret weapon, Jim. This I think is my personal like Mac Daddy right now. I think it's done. I don't think it's coming back. It's called Briscoe Park.
I've heard of that.
Go watch it, Brendan.
Watch it with me, Noah.
Briscoe Park on YouTube. It's just a series of tapes. I'm not going to tell you anything else about it. Watch it at night. Get into it. It's got ARG elements. We haven't really talked about ARGs at all, but augmented reality games where we get into mixed media and like the thing that's being presented to you has an interactive element. Glendale Archives is kind of playing around with this right now. The concept is like the videos we're seeing of the guy I was mentioning that's living in this possibly parallel universe where nobody else is around. There's no other humans.
Is that the kid that they keep making posts of him on like this guy says he's stuck in 20 whatever and he
So
can't
that
get
I
back. Is
think
that the same kind?
that I think is a different thing.
Okay. I keep seeing all these posts like this guy says he's like in the future at this thing and they tell him to go to this place and he does there, but they can't see him there. And I'm like, well, yeah, if he's using augmented reality, like he's not gonna be there. He could just like fake it. Like, what did you think telling this guy to go to this spot was gonna do? Like, if this all isn't real,
Yeah, Gav.
but maybe it is real.
I think
Maybe
that's
he
a
is
different
stuck in
thing.
20 something. Well,
But
okay.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But this is definitely like there's an ongoing narrative happening essentially. But
Yeah.
what we're being presented is like the Glendale Archives is somebody who has found this footage and is putting it together and putting it out. That's the, you know, basically blanket excuse for like that's why these things are edited and like have cool transitions and like music sometimes or whatever is it's like well, it was put together by somebody. It's not pure raw unedited found footage. It's curated.
So what you could do is what we could do as a group is we could pretend we found that duffel full of all the videos that was in there and we could make our own little backrooms thing and put it out around Halloween.
Well, to that point, as you
Or
guys
you make it and then you show it to us as a group and we just have like
Brendan
a
has to be our
reaction.
avatar, though.
What do you what are you guys gonna call it? Arc rooms?
ARK rooms,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, Brendan explores the ARK rooms, and it's just you not being stressed out by creepy shit. Just like,
Like the
what the fuck is that chair?
I
What the
think
fuck is that
did I
chair on the ceiling?
Every
What the
every
fuck is
corner
that?
he turns,
Makes
it's the
sense.
guy from behind.
I think I sent
the
you
guy from Mulholland Drive that I can't stand behind.
Why are those shoes cut in half and put on the floor? That doesn't make any sense.
Why are those people crawling out of the
This is
ground?
not logical.
I think I sent you guys the one of Lynch. Yeah, what if David Lynch was in the back rooms and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
great in here.
No, dude, send me that. I have not seen that.
Oh, dude, I thought I sent that one to you.
You sent
Oh,
it to
dude,
me.
it's good. It's good. Yeah,
It's
I
just
got
a
it.
run. It's a bunch of behind the scenes stuff of him, but like edited
That
into the
sounds
back rooms.
amazing.
It's so fucking funny.
It's like a minute long of him just like looking around, sweeping, having a good time.
Sweet.
Dude, I swear I thought I sent you that one. Hold on.
Maybe I missed it.
Dude,
That's
it's
the
literally
best.
scroll up. It's the last thing I sent you on Instagram. It's the fucking last thing I sent you.
We're in Evan's back rooms right now.
Oh yeah, oh man. Unread text messages, unread. Yeah.
Evan's like, you don't want to get lost in my back rooms, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Fun.
and I got a whole other list of ones as well, guys. That I'm currently exploring and working on. And if we're wanting to, if you're still just in the
Save
vibe
some
of
of
this
them.
and
Just
no, no, no,
save
no,
them, dude. Save
no,
them till
I'm not.
Halloween, and you watch
Gavin,
them with us on Zoom, and we
Gavin.
all react as one. It's that
No,
simple.
I love that setup. I'm not going to name any more YouTube series. I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
also
good.
going to say,
Don't.
if we want to stay in that space, you're still in that vibe. You're wanting to kind of just like, hey, what's been going on in the YouTube online horror space over the last several years? What's all this shit about? I would highly recommend the entire catalog of Jane Schoenbrun's work, particularly starting with A Self-Induced Hallucination, which is a documentary about the Slender Man phenomenon told entirely through YouTube videos.
Okay.
And it's fucking awesome. It's really well done. It kind of puts like that HBO Slenderman doc that they did about the
Yep.
girls and everything. It kind of calls out the bullshit aspects of that too inadvertently and like it's a great treatise on all of this shit. It's great. And also we're all going to the World's Fair, their first feature, and I saw the TV Glow, of course. And then for the for the real heads, for the real fucking heads, and I don't know if Gav ever actually watched this. I know I creeped him the fuck out with the trailer for it forever ago. But the entire catalog of Mr. Kyle Edward Ball, you can find him on YouTube as Bite Size Nightmares. He started out as a YouTuber, short filmmaker, where they basically took the submissions of listeners or viewers who would write in about their nightmares, either current or, childhood nightmares, et cetera, et cetera. And then they would make a short based on said nightmares.
That's
So
cool.
Bite Size Nightmares is super solid, but out of that came Heck, which was their first long form short film, which eventually ballooned into the notorious Skinamarink.
Okay,
Which
that's where
is,
Skinamarink came from. I still
yes,
haven't seen it.
it is
Mm.
decidedly not for everyone. It is
It's two little
very,
kids get lost right in the house, their own house or something. And
yes.
what, okay,
Well,
essentially.
I was gonna say yes, but like that's about as much narrative as you're gonna get, bud.
Okay.
And that I would say is most people's frustration is the length of time, the pace, the slow cinema aspect of it, the fact that it is completely non-traditional horror. There are no traditional jump scares. Brendan, you out?
Yeah, man, I gotta go.
Is
I
your
gotta.
hand okay, bud? Are you
Oh
you
yeah, yeah,
fell. You were telling the story earlier, and
yeah.
Patrick will catch me up on, or you can catch me up on it in a minute. Are you going to bed?
Oh, I just, getting old and lost my balance there, Noah.
Alrighty, I'll call you after we're done with this,
All
bud.
right,
I'll give you a
later.
shot. All right, later, dude. Love
Mm.
you. All right. Um,
Did he tell you how he ran into me on the base the other day?
he did. Yeah.
Okay, I figured he would.
Yeah.
I literally
Um,
was going into Pass ID and I see my phone. I was like, he either just saw me or he's looking at me right now. And I pick up the phone and he's like, nice white shirt. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And then Nancy pokes her head and says, oh man, mom ruined it. And he gets out the car laughing. It's like, she didn't even know I was standing here. She paid no attention to me whatsoever, dude. It's
um,
pretty funny.
Patrick, do you
Yeah.
have any awareness of Skinny Inc? Did you ever see the trailer for it?
I haven't seen it or the trailer. I just know that there was a crap ton of buzz about it in all the horror circles I frequent online.
Yeah. So, given that you've got an appetite for liminal space, and also given your age, I think there's a chance that this may, if you can go the distance with it, and by that I mean just like you got to come to it. You really do have to like, you got to be an active participant because if not, it is like nails on a chalkboard, I think, for
Okay.
most people. But what it taps into is take the concept of liminal space, but apply it specifically to like you are a child in a very 70s, like late 70s, 80s coded house. You awake in the middle of the night. The only thing really illuminating anything is like the fuzzy tube TV, and you can't quite see. And maybe there's something shifting around in the shadows back there. Maybe there's a creepy entity in my house that's talking to me and trying to ask me to do things.
Oh, I totally call that 1981.
Yeah, just like if that, I'm saying, if that sounds appetizing to you and like living in that space for an hour and 45 minutes with no, like, does not let you breathe, that does, it's just like, this is what we're doing. We're just sitting in this feeling for an hour
Yeah.
and 45 minutes. Um, yeah, it's a borderline endurance test for some people. Some people
Okay.
find it completely boring and not compelling. I told Gavin when he, I think you texted me when you were in the midst of your backrooms watch, or no, it was after I sent you my house walkthrough, and you were
Hmm.
like, "Hey, what the fuck?" Like, and I was like, "Did you watch it at night?" And he was like, "Yes, I did."
Yeah.
Um, but I told you
When I was the only one
one of
awake
those movies that
and
just
no lights on.
seeped into my brain and my subconscious every once in a while when I'm walking around my apartment, when I've brushed my teeth and I gave the cats their night treats and I'm coming up the stairs. Every once in a while, I think about Skinamarink and I get like really fucking scared. That movie, maybe like actively when I was watching it in the theater, I was like, it really worked for me. And I've never had a desire to go back to it, but I think about it all the fucking time.
I mean, as a kid, I lived in that sort of space, and your uncle would often find me the next morning asleep in the toy chest
Yeah.
because toys are
Oh,
safe.
dude.
That's where you go when you're scared.
Well, the way that Patrick, just even you saying that, dude, the way that toys and the safety that toys are supposed to represent are bastardized in this movie is like that's the kind of upsetting shit. There are not like it just this movie, oh God, I'm getting fucked. I don't really want to talk about it much longer, to be honest. And I know there's probably people listening who maybe one of the 1,000 or so people that actually saw it or saw it in the theaters, and they're like, dude, that boring piece of shit. What are you talking about? But I swear, man, that one did a number on me. Great movie. One of those that I think, like, I saw it and I was like, I feel really solid about that. That's an 8. And I think over time, even having not rewatched it, I'm like, I think it's a 10, just on principle, because like anything that is that unforgettable long term, like it's just, it's clearly something that I should elevate. I love Skinamarink, but his other shit is creepy as well. He does have a new one called Land of Nod, which I think theoretically comes out not in the fall if it holds. Very excited for that. But yeah, Ev, I don't know what you'll make of it, dude. I really
Okay.
don't.
I was circling it for a while. I keep hearing about it
Have you
and then
seen
just
Have you seen the trailer?
I don't remember.
This is one of our favorite things to do, and we'll end the podcast this way. Okay.
I have a completely
Do you have your cell
unrelated
phone?
thing that I
Do you have your
wanted to
cell
talk
phone
about.
handy? And please do,
Yeah.
Patrick. Okay. Go ahead, Pat.
My quick thing. Do we have any Michael Mann fans on this podcast?
Is that a
Right
fucking
here.
joke, bro?
Bunch of
I-
manly man Michael
You got a
Mann
bunch
fans
of
up in this
you got a bunch
podcast.
of man hunters on this show.
I just watched
The
Miami
two
Vice
hosts
again
of
2 days ago.
Manhunters, a Michael Mann podcast, in fact.
Well, speaking of those sorts of words, do we have any fans of Manhunter on this podcast?
Yeah.
Big
Yeah,
Manhunter fans.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Because
You-
Michael Mann
You've seen these films,
has
haven't you, my
just-
man?
he oversaw a 4K restoration, which is getting released in theaters in July.
Awesome.
I'm there, been there, doing it. I'll probably go see Jaws again too on July 4th. I'm gonna do it.
Matthew and I are probably going on the 3rd.
Not to be blasphemous, but I also enjoyed the remake of Manhunter as well, the Red Dragon version of
Dude,
it.
I will stand by, dude. I really like fuck Brett Ratner, but that movie's dope.
Right,
Like,
right.
yeah,
It's
fuck-
good.
yeah,
It's
it's-
pretty good.
it's good.
Philip
Yeah.
Seymour Hoffman. Colin and I used to always say to each other, "Do you see? Do you see?"
Oh my
My
God, dude,
transformation. Yeah.
Yeah, July 24th, it hits U.S. theaters
hell yeah.
with digital 4K to
Fuck
follow
yes.
sometime in the fall.
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely going to see that in theaters again. That's probably my single favorite of his. Just I go back to that one multiple. Yeah, like I said, it just popped up on Peacock. Hey, Miami Vice is here. I'll just watch that. There's other stuff I need to get to. I'll just put that on just
Thief.
because I need to.
Boys,
Yeah.
Thief is his.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a close one too.
so Ev, whenever you're ready,
All
go
right.
to the group chat and click on
Okay.
that link, and you're welcome to turn up the volume on your phone as well.
Okay.
We'll get a live trailer reaction. Patrick, I guess you should do this too.
I'm sorry. Just looking at Emmett's.
I'm like, is that a smudge on my phone or is that a demon?
Yeah.
So an hour and 45 of that.
Yeah,
Just that exact thing.
give or take. Yeah,
It's certainly, as the kids say, a vibe.
Yes, it's definitely not everybody's vibe, but it is a vibe.
It is your vibe.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, went and saw that one in theaters. Drove all the way to the shitty Somerville movie theater because it was the only one showing it. Super hyped off the trailer and the short, and Veronica said it was one of the most miserable experiences of her entire life.
Jesus
She
Christ.
absolutely fucking hated it. She had a headache about like 15, 20 minutes into it, and
She's like, hey man,
if
I'm gonna
you
step outside,
if
have a
if
cig.
you've seen that movie, yeah, imagine going into it with a headache already.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Anyways,
Yeah,
so yeah, that's
that's
Hydrate.
potentially terrifying.
did
Yeah,
you
we're watching that one.
did you just watch it now as well, Patrick?
Yes, yes, potentially terrifying. But
Yeah,
with the little kid in front of the TV and
Yeah.
whatever the blood on the TV was.
yeah.
Oh, I couldn't tell. The random Barbie on the floor. It's just like I was like, that means definitely little kids live in that house. That's for sure. Just toys littering the floor. That's like a dad's nightmare, just gonna step on something in the middle of the
Yeah, exactly.
night.
God.
Um, oh God, or it won't. I don't know why I'm like it'll fuck you up because I'm like, or you'll just be like, whatever. Like it's truly that is the type of movie it is where I'm like, one
Snow in
man's trash is
between.
another man's treasure. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right, right,
and I
right.
don't begrudge anybody who watches it and is like, dude, that was pretentious bullshit. What the fuck? What are you talking about? But I felt it in my bones, man. That movie's pretty great. All right. Lots of recommends. You guys can rewind the episode. And yes, I will save plenty of these for yeah, maybe we can do it. Zoom has the functionality where I could like bring up share a video to the group
It should,
Yeah.
yeah.
and like we can watch it. It would just mute the audio for the thing itself, I assume, if it's copyrighted, something like that.
I don't know because I've only ever played videos for educational purposes in teaching, so I don't often
I
have that
should I should
problem.
look into that. But no, Gab, I liked your idea of like, yeah,
Hmm.
we should definitely make that part of October is just explore some more internet horror. I'm curious. I'm sure, honestly, between now and the end of the year, we'll have probably another movie coming from a director in this space.
Yeah, I was gonna ask who's the next big one. By the way, I'm subscribing to Briscoe Park as we speak. So
Dude, like the Briscoe Park shit is so fucking scary. It is like 1,000% my vibe. Um,
We got the
it's oh
sex
my god,
teenage miasma
Teenage
coming.
Sex and Death at
yep.
Camp Miasma, which what I love that I'm hearing is just much more fun and funnier because as you guys know, I adore I Saw the TV Glow. I also think it's one of the saddest movies ever made in modern American cinema. So I like the yeah, it sounds like it's more of a like joyful horror comedy that has some wild shit in it as opposed to a sad drudge fest about, existential longing and,
Yeah.
and desperation. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I that's the thing I'm most pumped for. And I wouldn't necessarily say that Jane specifically comes from that space in particular. The doc was they seem to kind of be, and it's a generational thing too, but they seem to kind of exist a little bit more slightly outside of it, but more observational of like, hey, I was obsessed with like the adjacent things to this when I was this age. And I'm fascinated by like what's going on with people now navigating those things in a digital era with all this other stuff at play. But yeah, again, uh, self-induced hallucination, huge recommend that I think is it's short, it's like less than an hour and 20 minutes. Again, all YouTube footage, and I think is a great little like microcosm of all these little online subcultures and how they get formed and like just a lot of this stuff that broadens out to like cool and weird, possibly negative shit that's going on all throughout these different spaces on the internet. So check that out. Check all these out. Any final thoughts, gentlemen? It is midnight. I will let you guys all go. No, not
No.
even any final words. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Keep letting
Oh,
these kids make these movies
excuse
and
me.
this content.
real quick before we do go, Brendan said he was maybe possibly up to an 8, 8.5. Let's go around the horn real quick just so I can get ratings for the Graham.
You got my text. 10 out of
Gavin
10.
was a 10. Evan,
I'm like an 8, 8.5 as well.
word. Patrick,
Solid 9.
hell yeah. All right.
Evan, I want to hear yours after you watch the series and see where
That's what
this
we call
fits
them.
into the series
Well,
to
no,
see if that
like
changes.
this conversation that we had tonight about it is basically what's been going on in my brain, trying to figure out what happened for like since over the past week since we've seen it, and that's why I said it grew on me so much. Is like walking out of the theater was one thing, and then like 3 hours later, I was like, that's actually pretty good. So, um, yeah. Anyway, then this
Yeah.
night I'm gonna rewatch. Like I told you, I think it's gonna have. It has like if you're just talking those two movies side by side, I think Backrooms is gonna be endlessly rewatchable, and Obsession is just like every few years maybe you check that one out. But,
Yep.
yeah,
I
what that's worth.
I would tend to agree with you there. I think one is a much I think they're both incredibly successful in completely different ways, and that's why I love that they're both doing great right now. It's
Yep.
not like it turned into a one versus the other conversation, which I think there was a people thought maybe it was going to go that way at some point where it was like, okay, but it's like, nope, they're both just doing incredibly well relative to their budgets. They're both kind of phenomenons. They've both been, pretty well received. I would say Obsession actually more so than Backrooms. Backrooms has been had a few more detractors, I would say. Um, and yeah, I think some of that is just maybe there not being as much as there is a quote unquote traditional narrative or like something to kind of hang your hat on, it's a pretty fucking out there movie to just like turn around and make $118 million in 3 days. Like, I do feel like some people probably walked into this and felt like it was a little bit of a bait and switch. But I would liken that to people who fucking walked into Nope expecting a certain type of movie and were disappointed by it. And then you had a
Movie's a
portion of the
masterpiece.
audience who were just
Yeah,
like,
fucking
exactly, 10 out of
masterpiece.
10 fucking masterpiece. And I
Kind of
again
boring.
always fair, Patrick. I always
Nope, kind of boring.
I love movies that kind of can exist in both space. Again, I always say I'm like what I'm always really looking for on Metacritic is a nice like give me a 73 to a 78. Give me something that not everybody's in love with because something that's just broadly across the board, kind of everybody's like, this is great. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to enjoy it and have a good time with, but something that's a little more distinct and like definitely has a clear vision and thing that it's going for, is always, usually going to pique my interest a little bit more. All right, gentlemen. Fuck, I fucked this up last week and now I can't even remember how to do it. All right. I want to thank my cousin, Patrick J. Blanchard, for joining us. My good
Pleasure to be
friend,
here.
thank you so much. My good friend, Mr. Evan Tuig,
Got me.
our good friend, Mr. Brendan Riley, who did have to dip early. I have been Noah,
I didn't say my name at the beginning, but I'll say it now. My name is Gavin. I have been Gavin.
and we therefore have been the Blanchard brothers. This has
Yes,
been the
indeed.
Ark of E podcast, and you've been listening to what we've been watching.
I got nothing. I can't even make like a fun thing. I don't want to.
You're lost in the back rooms.
All right, we're coming to you live from the back rooms,
I
Noah.
was
We'll
trying
see you
to,
next week. All right. Hey, if it
trying to
looks
think
really
of like
yellow
a
out there, don't get so blue. We'll see you
I was trying
tomorrow
to think
after. I
of a
don't know.
good quick line, a good classic backrooms line, but I'm like, I don't.
Yeah. Or hang on, I got it.
The best part is you can
That's
eat
not a
them. I
fucking
don't
man.
know.
no, just yeah.
So
Now
what'd
that
you say?
that's what I was gonna do. Is like,
You
oh
can
fuck,
eat
what
them.
is what the fuck is that? What is? Oh shit!
It's not a fucking man. It's not a fucking person.
It's okay.
Patrick,
You can eat
definitely
them.
like hit up the cousin group chat because I'm sure Matthew won't care, but like let us know when you finish the series so we
Yeah.
can discuss, particularly after you finish the last. I mean, just after you finish, because found footage 3 is like almost the second to the last, I think. So,
Okay.
Hey,
we didn't even mention it, but like the mother like he does the fucking music too. for the series, and he
Yeah.
like collabed on the music for the movie. And also, this was just cool as shit. It came out on a Thursday in preview screenings. As soon as the credits hit, there's a song called "The Word Becomes Flesh" by Boards of Canada, which was a brand new track off their album Inferno, their first album in 13 years that everybody had been waiting for, myself included, which didn't come out till Friday. So even as a nice little PS, I got to hear a brand new Boards of Canada track a day early because I went and saw the movie on opening night. Didn't even know it was going to be in there, but
Fair.
apparently he asked.
Everything is done with intention, Noah.
He literally, a lot
He
of
does
his ambient shit is inspired by them, and apparently he reached out and they literally gifted the movie with an unreleased new track from, again, the first album in like 13 years. This was already a big event in and of itself, and they quietly were just like, yeah, just slip this in as your end credits music. It literally drops as soon as the credits hit, like from that shot of Mary, which we didn't even talk about, which is like
the
fucking
messed up. Yeah.
the implications. Like, again, you can, I think, as a first time viewer, you can take that in any number of ways. She's still trapped there. Is this just the
Copy.
or, well,
Oh no, she's definitely still in there when they're. We didn't even talk about Duplass and how like
oh, you mean
I don't.
Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil, yeah. Isn't Phil like? Am I
Dude, well, I'm
crazy? Don't
sorry.
we know who
That
Phil is already?
I genuinely thought that was a laugh line, dude. I chuckled and nobody else in the theater seemed to think that was funny. When after all of that shit, everything we've seen, she comes through the back room, she sees Captain Clark's body laid out and they're doing,
Yeah.
Test
they're
on it or
doing
whatever.
MRIs and everything. She's whisked through everything or whatever. They put her in a room. Duplass walks in and he's like, "Hi, I'm Phil." I fucking laughed, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, that is a laugh line, dude. You're supposed to laugh at that. After all of this shit,
Mm-hmm.
Mark Duplass with glasses comes in. He's just like, "Hey, I'm Phil. Let's talk about this for a minute." I was dying.
Dude, he was perfect for me, dude. The anchoring it back into like
He's the best.
we used to make MRIs, but now we just do this. So what's gonna happen to me? I don't get to make that decision, but
This
I
might be the most important. Yeah. I was like,
yeah,
what?
ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
yeah.
people have pointed this out, and I was like, obviously something I was looking for going back, but it's like he sees him on the security
Hmm.
footage or whatever. We zoom out and see that he's observing that or whatever, and then a little bit later, he sees the infomercial and he has this other reaction to it. And I think the other reaction I initially read as like, oh, he's making the connection and now he knows where the location is. Like, here's how this guy got in. He must like it must be adjacent to the furniture store possibly. But I was like, that's not it at all. The reason he's looking at that is because he's now piecing two and two together. And he's like, oh, that fucking giant pirate thing we've seen wandering
Yeah. Yeah.
around in there on the cameras, I think that came from this guy. What does that mean? Like, he's having the same, like, wait, what's going on here? But yeah, I was reading it as just like, oh yeah, I recognize him again, or like I know the location, but I
Just
think it's like,
and
no, I recognize him in this pirate costume with like all this shit.
and just where this sits in the timeline, the ending of the movie being like, hey, I mean, these these things are these doors are opening up everywhere. Could you tell us maybe like how just hearing that little bit, I was like, this fucking kid, man, he doesn't do anything half-assed. He doesn't just do it's there for a reason. Based off when this movie's supposed to take place versus when the first found footage is supposed to take place, relative to the second found footage and the third. This kid is just how do you at 20 I was not thinking about, well, I have this giant story and push pins here and yarn and here and it moves all over. I wasn't thinking about that. Is that because this kid grew up he was 16 in a pandemic, and now, or like seven, whatever he was in a pandemic and he couldn't go outside and now he's 20 and like this is his world. But like the capacity to have all of that thought through and like Evan, you'll figure it out when you get into the series how like certain things that take place do correspond to real things that they aren't made up. You can go look them up. They actually happened in our world
Huh.
before we all went to a different timeline after we discovered the super collidron, whatever thing that all that shit happened. That's a different timeline. Anyway, like all these events you see that like happen in the series, they are legit things that like he obviously put in his research. So it's not like bullshit, you know? So nothing is done without intention. Just that's the only thing I can tell you going into the series. If you see something, it means something.
That
It's
is
not just
the
there to be just
that
to be
again is
fodder. It means
the
some
most
shit.
Lynchian thing about all of it is
Yeah.
he is very again, we talked about this with Jane Schoenbrunn. The ethos of Lynch is just you do your thing 100%. Like whatever that is, you lean into it. You don't worry about like am I breaking like this cinematic rule or whatever, or are people going to dig this or not? Like artists who are able to just like create their own little universe and bring you into it as opposed to it coming to you, if that makes sense. Like
Right.
those those are my fucking people. And I'm like, he has that thing where I'm just like, it's it's unique unto him. It may be influenced by some things here. Sorry, one last side note. I know we already pretty much ended the episode, whatever. Apparently, when his parents separated, his dad built basically built the Red Room from Twin Peaks like in their
Yes.
house as his bar, Patrick. But to my knowledge, Kane was not like he did not his dad loves David Lynch, but he did not grow up on David Lynch. And it's so funny how things have almost seeped into each other. But he's literally talking in interviews where he's like, look, I I am not, you know, a cinephile. I'm incredibly like I've lived in my own world creating all this shit for so many years when I should have been consuming stuff. And he's like, now that I am a filmmaker, he's like, I actually look forward to taking the time to watch all this shit that people are constantly yelling at me like, oh my God, how have you not seen every David Lynch movie or every Twin Peaks thing? Or have you not seen this thing that so clearly seems like a reference point? And that's what I think is crazy, is it's like it feels like he, you know, to somebody I'm sure they would be like, oh, it feels like this, or it feels like he's reaching from this must be a huge influence. And it's like he's pulling from a whole other set of influences that are maybe like the third, fourth, fifth generation of things that were influenced by that thing, but it has all recombinated into something wholly unique at the same time. I love it. I dig it. um Thank you guys for chatting about it. Alrighty. I think that's officially it. You got a
Yeah,
cutesy sign off now, Gav?
Uh, no, I just want to keep talking more. There's so much shit going on in my brain,
Oh,
dude. Like,
Gav,
if
you
you,
and I can definitely just have a we can just have an episode where we
yeah,
just me and you. We can go back to the old us and just
yeah,
literally
yeah.
sit for 2 hours and
Seriously,
theorize. Yeah.
yeah, not even theorize, just like, just to unpack it all. It's
Oh,
so much.
yeah,
Anybody, and
there's a
seriously,
lot of stuff I would love to talk about in relation to the series. So
I
maybe
feel
we can
like
do a follow-up episode if everybody does go down the
wait,
rabbit hole. Yeah.
wait till Halloween. I'm sure it'll be more available by now. By then, you can rewatch it like on home media before Halloween, if not around it. Everybody catches up with the series, and we just sit down and just have a okay, based off the series and what you know and like what you saw in this, what do you think is actually happening here? Everybody gives their own 2 cents. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
and Ev, I will send you a playlist because
yeah,
there is
definitely.
so much backrooms adjacent content outside of his
like fan
series.
stuff, right?
Yes, and spin-offs of the original idea because again, it is not it like he didn't invent the backrooms. He
So
invented
what's
his
canon, I
version of
guess?
backrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like his canon is his canon, and then there's all sorts of other offshoots and weird shit. But yeah, just whenever you start watching, you want to make sure you're on his page. So I will send you a link for like, dude, watch this playlist in order, and you're watching the right shit. But then your YouTube algorithm, as I told Patrick, once you start watching, will probably start to get flooded with other like non-canon backroom shit because it's just incredibly popular on the platform. So
Yeah,
um,
I did it and I'm logged in on my YouTube. So now
it's
when
corrupted
Maverick
your entire algorithm
no,
for math.
when Maverick tries to go and find like um Tears for Fears videos, because that's all he wants to watch is their like
Nice.
dude,
Good job.
seriously, you don't know how many times I've watched the video for Head Over Heels, and he thinks it's hilarious when Kurt Smith like kisses the monkey that's in that video. He just thinks it's hilarious. It's like, oh, there's a monkey playing, and then one of them kisses him on the lips. He just laughs every time. I'm like, okay, but like 2 videos down from that, it's like Backrooms explained, Backrooms found footage one, all this, and then all these shorts pop up, and I keep telling like, dude, we're not watching shorts. I cannot stand these little children running around yelling and doing like crazy stuff. And then he's flipping through, and the next thing I see is like, so when you get to this level of the back rooms and there's this and that, I'm like, I keep going, dude. Just go back to a video. Just don't do shorts. Go to a video.
More Tears for Fears.
Just go back to Tears for Fears, dude. And you'll be fine. That's all he wants to listen to. But it is so corrupted that it's just like every other video is a backroom video now. And I'm like, yeah, I probably need to make him his own, like log out and do just like a guest account or just something for him for kids, so he's not like corrupted by.
It's true. Miss Rachel has corrupted my algorithm, and Miss Rachel Dancing Fruit,
Yes.
which is like the baby EDM, and
Uh-huh.
then and then the Danny Go, or is it Danny Go, the guy who makes he had the autistic son and he makes the video, he made the videos for him, and they became like incredibly popular for everybody.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's my algorithm now. Fucking blew up my shit. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting some back rooms in there, and I'm just walk in. The kids are watching back room shit.
Do it. Well, and also, be careful with my house walkthrough and Briscoe
Yeah.
Park and stuff that's like way fucking scarier. That might creep in there. Maybe put some child protective. Do a
That's
separate profile.
that's the only thing I can say. He does not get scared at stuff. Like he gets scared if you get like a loud shrill, like a high pitch, but just jump scares and he fine. I run out of my hallway and I step into a dark room all the time, and he'll run past me, and I will come up behind him. He thinks it's hilarious and laughs. He does not get like, he's like, yelling right back at me. It's wild, dude. I love it.
He's like, you're gonna need to up your game if you want to get me riled up.
Dude, like this is one last thing we'll go. The other like I woke up the other morning, I didn't know where this was. I'd lost my wedding ring just like between going back and forth with him and washing stuff. He came in, I was folding his clothes today. He came into his room holding it, looking at me, laughing. And I'm like, where the hell was that? And he just ran off into the living room. I'm like, come back here. And he just wound up, he put it on the dog who was asleep on the couch. I was like, I'll take that. Thank you. But like, I don't know where the kid that I had a year ago went. It's every day. It's something brand new. It's crazy.
He's like, you want to jump out of and scare me? I will show you. He runs to the toilet with your wedding ring.
Yeah, he's like, I'll
show you
scare you,
scary."
motherfucker.
Noah, you know what my bathroom looks like. I turn around today. We're getting ready to go to mom and dad's. He is fucking on the toilet seat, opening up my medicine cabinet, looking around like, dude, quick, stop climbing. He's fucking climbing everywhere.
See, this is what fear looks like now.
The kid has, yeah, I'm terrified. The kid has no fear whatsoever. I told Becky, I was like, next time he jumps in the water, just let him go underwater. See if he freaks out or if he's just like happy about it. She's like, well, he's gonna be pissed that I didn't catch him. I was like, yeah, it might be a trust issue thing. I'll do it. I'll wait. I'll be the one. I'll let him go under. He won't be that mad at me.
I'll dive on this grenade to teach.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You don't do it. I'll do it. He can be mad at you. He'll be mad at me, not you. I'll take that one. So we'll see how that goes next time we go swimming.
All right.
All right.
Love you guys.
Love you, boys. See y'all.